Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the, just the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week in Sheridan, Wyoming, a $20 debt leads to bad feelings, arguments, and confrontations, not to mention a body under the floorboards. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. We could not be more excited to record this episode again. This is like the damned episode.
Yeah.
Last week when we tried to record, this is like a makeup episode for last week when our computer melted down, and we explained all of that on the last episode. And then this week we recorded this last night to put out today.
Right.
And the new computer, and long story short, it didn't record on the proper microphone, and it sounded like a FaceTime conversation that was underwater into a tin can.
I love it.
And so there was no possible way to release it. It would have been god awful for you people.
So here we go again.
So one more time, let's do this goddamn episode. We're very, very excited. Thank you, folks, for joining us again. Thank you for everything you've done for us this week. All of your iTunes/Apple Podcast, whatever you want to call it, purple icon, all those reviews. Thank you.
So good to us.
They help a lot. We got to feed that iTunes algorithm. It's very funky and it likes to dance, and we have to feed it reviews, and that helps us drive us up the charts. I guess how you want to look at it. So thank you for everybody that's done that. If you haven't yet, doesn't matter what what you say. Tell us whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. It's not for our ego. It's just for that. You can go, place to be is to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes, sir.
You can go there. You can get merch there. We have leggings now, ladies or men or whoever wants leggings. There's leggings on there now that are coming out. So that's going to be really fun. You can get all sorts of t-shirts and all that sort of thing. Get tickets to the last week of live shows here for this tour. Next week, we're going to be Boston, Chicago, Detroit, and Baltimore.
You betcha. 4
days in a row. Yes. No, that sounds crazy, and it is. And
if that sounds like it shouldn't be, you're right.
You're right. That sounds like somebody was literally like, how much can they be in the air? Because, I mean, it sounds like somebody who's like, I need all the miles I can get at something. It's insane. So we're going to be doing that. Find our tickets there. Also, newly announced January 25th, we're going to be doing that show in Seattle that we had to cancel.
Over there at the Neptune.
At the Neptune. If you have tickets for the first show, great. Those are still good.
Yeah.
Bring those right to the door. They'll let you in. If not, buy those tickets now.
You know what's so great about the Neptune? You know what's so great about it?
What's that? Chairs.
The greatest thing about the Neptune is that chairs are aplenty.
All sorts of chairs.
There are so many chairs.
Also,
it's so comfortable.
Speaking of chairs, there's another place with chairs that we're going to be just now. Tickets on sale today. West Palm Beach, Florida, at the Improv down there. West Palm Beach Improv. We will be down there February 21st. So get your tickets now to that. It's
My
going to be
birthday weekend.
Oh, we're going to have a ball down there.
Betcha.
So it's a really nice club. So come out to that club if you haven't been there. It's really cool. Nothing but chairs.
You bet.
As far as the eye can see. Do all of that. And also at Shut Up and Give Me Murder, there are links to support the show and be a producer who we'll talk about later. All of our fabulous, wonderful producers that we can't thank enough because every damn dime counts. So you can find links over to patreon.com/crime and sports, which is our other podcast, which you damn sure should be listening to.
Wish you would.
Because it's hilarious. And also over to PayPal. You just use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. You can make a one-time donation. Time to get to the disclaimer quickly here. This is a comedy podcast.
It is.
I sound angry saying that. Damn it, it's comedy. This is a comedy podcast. We're comedians.
Right.
All the facts are real. That part's not comedy. What we do is we make fun of small towns or whatever little quirks places have, not just because they're small towns. We make fun of a police force that bumbles and doesn't do their job.
Right.
A murderer who is pretty poor on the dismount, that sort of thing.
Deserve it.
And deserve it. And we have no other recourse.
Right.
That's what we do here. And then we have a good time. We have fun. What we do not do is we don't make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags. So that's how this is. So if that sounds good to you, you want to have a good time and, have fun with us. Sounds awesome. If not, if you think true crime and comedy never belong together and it's crazy that they mix, then you're not going to like the show. So you should probably stop listening now and save us all some trouble. Save you an angry tweet and me a funny angry one back at you. So with that said, I think it's time, wherever you are, from your cubicles, out a car window, it doesn't matter, wherever you are, I need you to shout loud, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy. Let's go on a trip, shall we? We were in Kansas.
We were
last week, which was odd. It was an odd. I mean, the fact that they let that happen. If you didn't listen to the last episode that came out yesterday, wow, do you need to listen to that? Because that is absolutely insane. And the twist there. Listen to the end. Don't stop and be like, okay, they caught him. That's fine. No. Keep listening because it is insane, that last twist. But,
it is stupid. It doesn't make any good. How do you do that to somebody?
It's a quintessential small town murder. It's really what the show's all about right there. I mean, it could happen somewhere else, but it feels like it belongs where it was.
Right.
So this week we're going to go to Wyoming. We're going to Sheridan, Wyoming.
Great.
Out to the middle of nowhere in the plains there. It's in north central Wyoming, right at the top, right on the border. It's a rectangle, but it's a rectangular panhandle if one ever existed. It's just south of Montana. Put it that way. It's just on the right there by Montana. It's 4.5 hours to Cheyenne if you want to get to, I guess, a city. Sort of.
That's a capital, yes.
But I mean, for statistical purposes, I guess. 2 hours to Casper, Wyoming, if you want to be there, which is kind of on the way to Cheyenne. And 2 hours to Billings, Montana, which is the other direction. Yeah. So 10 minutes from, if there was a vortex, Jimmy, and that's the nowhere, and if you get sucked into it, you're in like the black, just a void somewhere, just floating around the never world.
Right.
It's 10 minutes from here.
It's 10 minutes from the upside down.
It's right. Yeah, it's exactly exactly what it is. It's right on the, hey, don't get sucked in. Right. No, I know. I've lived here my whole life. Don't worry about it. Like, everybody knows to stay away from the east side of town because you'll get sucked into the vortex.
All right.
That's where we are, basically. Sheridan County, very creative. Sheridan, Wyoming, and Sheridan County. Zip code 82801.
They really double down on Sheridan.
They're like in Sheridan, but there's not a lot of other towns.
Okay.
That's the thing about like these plain states. Like, they're not, like, if you go to, use as an example because I'm from there, but like if you go to New York, between, like, I'm from like south of Poughkeepsie. Now, between there and the city, it's like an hour, but there's like 700 towns between there and there because it's all connected, basically. Here, it's a town, and then just get your binoculars out and put your hand over your eyes and look toward the horizon because you don't even see the fucking next town because it's far. So it's not a lot of towns. There's only a few.
What's the county in New York City? Do you know?
There's a bunch. There's Kings County. There's Queens County.
But there's not New York County for New York City in the state of New York, is there?
No, but there's well, they name shit after their own things. Yeah, in other places they do that all over the place.
I hope
that
there's
happens.
no New York County.
I
really don't want there to be a New York County.
There's a lot of
For some reason, I really hate that. I just don't like. I get New York City and because it's a big deal. But I don't want New Mexico City and New Mexico. New Mexico County.
No, that's
would be horrible.
It's a little much. I think in New York it would kind of work because that's almost its own state because there's as much population and there as There's like fucking 25 Wyomings and not quite, but about
on Long Island.
Like 50. There's like 15 Wyomings in New York City crammed into an area of somebody's farm out in Wyoming, basically. So it is interesting. It's zip 82801, area code 307. It's 10.95 square miles. Okay. So it's a kind of a spacious. Everything's fucking spacious in Wyoming. One thing they have. It's space. You can get it. There's plenty of it there. If you're feeling cramped and a little claustrophobic, this is a place to go because you will just feel like a speck in space at that point, floating around something's orbit. Its town motto is just naturally.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean,
naturally, I guess there's
short and sweet
nature shit is what they're getting at, which is fine, but I think you got to be a little more descriptive to let people. I prefer this one. It's quote, it's in Wyoming. Yeah, the state with no people in it. That one. It's a little wordier, but I think it's more effective. You're gonna know where you're going. It doesn't fit on the sign probably, but I think if you're gonna pass out literature, it's gonna help a lot more.
Natural. It's like somebody was like, you know what I'm gonna do.
Naturally.
One fucking word.
One word.
That's all we need.
It's like a soda company was like, you know what? No, fuck all these slogans, man. One thing.
Sugar.
Fizz.
Coca-Cola.
Fizzily.
Sugar.
Fizzily. Now, the history of this town. City was named after Philip Sheridan, who was, I know, one of your childhood heroes.
I can't
posters on the wall of him dunking.
The amount of shirts I have of him.
Him dunking over Confederate soldiers because he's a Union cavalry leader in the American Civil War. Sheridan was the scene of a lot of, this place had a lot of fighting. There's a lot of fighting here because this is where the cavalry fought off a shitload of Native American people and took their land and I'm sure shuttled them off to somewhere much worse. I'm positive that they didn't want to be. They fought the Sioux, who were some bad sons of bitches to be fighting. They were tough, the Sioux. The Cheyenne and the Crow Indian tribes as well.
All three.
All fighting in that area. Now, a little more about Philip Henry Sheridan. He's a career United States Army officer. He basically was like Ulysses Grant's boy. Like, he was his buddy. And so he rose as Grant rose, which was lucky for old Phil Sheridan over here, because he attached himself to a pretty fucking decent star. Didn't seem like they're probably just drinking buddies. Like, oh, fucking Ulysses he's hammered again, for Christ's sake, this fucking guy.
Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah, he's an S.
But it had no meaning, that S.
No, I feel like he just did it because it was like, it made him sound more stately.
You think so?
I think that's what it is. I think he could have picked any letter. He could have picked any letter he wanted if he's going to make one. I don't know. He's already got enough fucking S's in his name. Is the way I'm looking.
Way too many.
He could have picked Q for some mystery. Like,
that's
what could it be?
Good one.
Quentin.
Fucking solid. X.
Quincy.
X is the
X
shit.
would have been the
That's
dude,
the one.
if he was Ulysses X Grant, I'm sorry, he would have been president before.
Oh, God.
General, Confederates would have just quit. Did they put X? Oh, shit. X is in charge? His signature?
Yeah.
Just a big fucking X.
Bang.
Ulysses on one side of the X and Grant on the other. Just pow.
You got a baller-ass bill, though.
He signed shit slash, bitches,
bang,
pow.
bang.
He throws the pen down. Take that, Robert E. Lee.
Yeah. You got 4 sticks for your middle name?
Yeah, Appomattox, bitches, pow. Tagging his shit up on the wall, just X. Fuck you.
With the S. What a shit letter to take.
I don't know why he
But
did
it got
that.
him the greatest bill.
It worked. He got the 50.
That's the coolest bill.
It is a cool bill. That's a bill that like Sinatra would throw at you for bringing him a drink. You know what I mean? Like,
Fuck
here you go,
here.
kid. It's not 100. That's a little pretentious. I think you're being, but a 50's like, ooh, this is solid.
100's hacky and braggy.
It's a 50. It has weight when it hits the table. It's a good one there. So you want to be on the 50.
Yeah.
So this guy, Philip Sheridan, hooked himself to a decent star, even though they picked a shit middle initial. It's still, that's a good deal. So as he rose, so did Sheridan. He was first command of an infantry division in the Western Theater, then the Cavalry Corps in the Army of the Potomac in the East. Mm-hmm. So he defeated Confederate forces in 1864 that were under General Jubal Early in the Shenandoah Valley, and he was one of the first practitioners of the scorched earth tactic, which you might have heard of if you know anything about the Civil War, Sherman's March to the Sea, where he basically went through Georgia, just fucking burning it. Just
the whole damn thing.
Had a giant line of shit, and he was collecting more as he went. Soldiers and defectors and fucking slaves would join the once you got on the Union trail there, as long as you didn't hang out in the back and get picked off by Confederates, you were you were free at that point.
Light it all up.
He light them, and as they went, just nothing that could be of help to the enemy was the credo. So it was any equipment, places, farms. If you had corn, that shit was taken or burned. Any wheat, you name it, it was taken, burned, slashed, fucking destroyed.
Anything to get you to tomorrow.
Yeah, it was just fuck this. It was destroy their will to fucking continue was what it was. And
leave them all one bullet to solve the problem.
A cruel fucking thing, but it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to talk about whatever, I mean, Southern people can be angry about it, obviously, and that they still are, I believe. I think that's still what's going on. If you wonder what the hell's going on down there, that's what's going on down there. I feel like they're still mad about that.
They got whipped solid.
But I mean, just take a lesson from the Japanese. Yeah. Take an L and take it. Just take a fucking L. You think that was bad? They burned your farms down? We incinerated their children. And they were like, not to do a bad Japanese impression, but they were like, good job. Right. You win. We did it. Well played. Thank you very much. We're fucking, that's it.
My ancestry is Confederate through and through, and they died in Yankee internment camps in New York.
Perfect.
In upstate New York of dysentery. And God damn it, they probably deserved it. I give them credit for fighting for what they believe in, but I mean, you did it wrong.
My family by that time in the 1800s was like dragging donkeys around somewhere in somewhere in Italy and nowhere near any of these places.
There was no CNN to tell them what's going on.
They had no idea. They were just dragging a donkey. They said, "Mahu? I don't know. What do they do that? I don't know.
They fight over what?
Why he pick S? He could have picked any letter he wants. He picked the S." I don't understand. Why you do that? Oh, why?
Should have asked an I-tie. They'd have told you X.
I don't know. Why you pick that letter? You pick any letter you want. You should make a bigger slash. Or slash.
So much better.
X.
And it sounds exactly the same.
You make a bigger X and then you have a sex with the ladies, all of them. You say you like that, you come here, and that's what you do. Yes, we are like that.
Yeah.
All there, especially the ones over there. Trust me,
I'm sure of it.
Italian guys over there. Yeah. Watch out, ladies go over there. They're so nice.
Yeah.
No, they're not nice.
They're trying to get you naked.
Want to have sex with you in gross ways. So, scorched earth for Sheridan, and the residents of him doing this, that he did it to, the victims, I guess you could say, called it, quote, the burning, which sounds like the VD plague is coming. The burning. They came and they burned. So in 1865, his cavalry was one of the ones pursuing Robert E. Lee and was one of the instrumental ones of one of the forces that kind of cornered him and forced the surrender at Appomattox. Awesome. Type of deal. So
they didn't kill him though, right?
No. Robert E. Lee came to the table. Him and Grant had a big conversation, and showed each other pictures of their grandkids, and they jerked each other off. They did. Yeah. Robert E. Lee gave him his sword and the whole deal. Like it was a big formal presentation.
Right.
He took an L. Robert E. Lee took an L. Yeah. He came and he said, "You know what? Good well played." Yeah. He was like a football coach at the end of the game. He shook hands and he goes, "Man, your quarterback, good game plan, and he really knows what he's doing." And blah blah blah. And have a good one. Yeah. And he went back and retired.
All my shit's on fire, but
whatever.
Listen,
I mean, well, not all my shit's on fire. All their shit's on fire. My shit's okay. I'm over here. I'm good. My wife's home. She's taking care of the rose bushes. Don't worry about us. The other people you should worry about. The burning.
I really got to go tell them sorry.
Yeah, I fucked that up. So he was also later on, Sheridan big time fought in the Indian Wars of the Great Plains, which is out here. Mm-hmm. And apparently he killed so many Indians that these people named a fucking town after him. So that tells you a lot. He was instrumental in the development of the protection of Yellowstone National Park. And in 1883 was appointed General-in-Chief of the U.S. Army, and in 1888 was promoted to the rank of General of the Army under Grover Cleveland. So, yeah, that's a big deal. Yeah, so he's a famous Army guy who they named it after. Now, this valley was a staging area for General Crook's campaign against the Lakota and the Cheyenne in 1876. Okay. So, staging area to attack more Indians. And the Lakotas, they're fucking badasses. Really? Like, they're like notoriously some of the baddest people of all time. Yeah. And so, I don't know why you want to fight them, but they did.
I'm blown away by I mean, granted, you got guns and they have arrows and hatchets and
they
shit
got
like
some
that.
guns after a while, though.
Yeah.
People were like,
Spaniards sold them to them, right?
Fucking anybody. Just
anybody that
people.
needed money?
Yeah. I mean, were they beholden to the government? You need fucking money? Sure, I don't care. But it's the West.
Spaniards armed them down south, correct?
Probably.
Right?
I mean,
so. I don't know.
This has nothing to do with Wyoming.
Once they had guns, though, I wouldn't want to fight those people.
No,
that is
not that at that point.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were.
When you're pushing them off their own land.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They had a lot to fight for. They have a lot to fight for. They're upset. Of course. That's fuck, man. That's going to be some cornered. Anybody cornered like that, they're going to be dangerous. So, so anyway, the U.S. Army at this point, over the next 2 years after 1876, forced all the tribes onto reservations, of course, and then, quote, this is from their town website, quote, opening northern Wyoming to settlers. Just wash that blood off the ground. That's fine. You don't need to worry about don't worry about where that came from. No, that was just wash it off. Nice place, right? Yeah. It's open for settling now.
Dear settlers, we are open.
We're open. Trapper came by, a guy named George Mandel, built a cabin and a post office and kind of made himself king shit of the town. Yeah. They're just walking around pretending. He decided not to stay, this guy, and then he sold 40 acres of land to a guy named John Laux, who paid, listen to this, 40 acres of land, a cabin, and a post office, $50.
Deal.
That's fucking great.
Wow.
What a steal, man. That's awesome. So
you can barely mail a letter now for $50.
That's amazing. Jesus Christ. Yeah, for shipping on something, that's a lot. Like $50, man. That's
amazing.
Fucking, there's a post office there. I mean, Christ almighty. I don't know what his sorting system was like, but still, it's a building.
You can't buy keys to that house for $50.
No. One evening here in the spring, this is so stupid. In the spring of 1882, John Laux, he sat on a hill above Goose Creek. This is how the town website lays it out. Sat on a hill above Goose Creek and envisioned a town laid out in a valley below him. He went to his cabin and sketched out the town site, giving it the name Sheridan, in honor of the general he had served under. Laux then hired Jack Dow of Bighorn to survey the town and registered the plat in the Cheyenne land office, and said, this is so much better without any of those damn Indians here. It's probably what he said. He pictured, he's like, once we get rid of them, we'll just, Jesus
Is that
Christ.
how that works? You just sketch it and go,
he sketched it out.
We got a town
Found a
now.
guy. Well, then he just pretended he served as the first postmaster of the town because fuck it, it's my town. I guess I own it all. And then after that, in 1884, they incorporated Sheridan and had a mayor, and he's like, guess I'm the first mayor. He just like took off his post office hat and put on his big top hat, mayor hat.
Tired of wearing that dumbass uniform.
Yeah, he was like, can I mail that for you? Terrific. And then he was like, hello there, and he like changed his voice and put a top hat on. What business shall you be conducting in our town today? And like, oh no, I still have my post office shorts on. Sorry,
dumb fucking uniform.
I still have my bestriped shorts upon me, so I apologize.
And this giant safari hat.
And my pith helmet. I have a pith helmet and shorts that appear to be denim but aren't, strangely enough, and have a stripe down the side, not to mention my calf-high black socks. And my wonderful, non-slippery McDonald's worker black sneakers. The uniform of a champion. My shirt? Oh, no. It shall remain untucked. Yeah. That's fine.
Sure, I look like Robin Williams in Jumanji, but whatever.
What the fuck is that outfit about? Poor bastards.
They need to update that.
They do. I feel bad for them. I really do.
Poor people.
No wonder why they're fucking grumpy at the post office. You look at what you're making them dress like. Here, then put this stupid safari helmet on. There you go, asshole. Get out there. The fuck is that?
Look like the guitarist from AC/DC with a safari hat on.
No doors, just driving around. Poor bastards. So, oh man, this place. So the first few decades of life around here was all about the bars and the pool halls and the brothels on Main Street. Yeah. It was basically Deadwood, which is a pointless reference to make to you, but it was goddamn Deadwood, and just a typical Old West town that you'd think about with fucking brothels and girls trying to bring guys in while someone plays that do on the piano, that same song they play over and fucking over again. You know what I'm talking about. And
all those pianos were tuned the same.
They all
sounded the same.
They all sounded terrible. Yeah. Like it needed to be tuned.
Right. Like they were out of key.
Yeah. This was all at the Sheridan Inn. That was the main hotspot. That was like the gem if you're a Deadwood fan.
Sheridan.
No, not the Sheraton Inn. William, this was Buffalo Bill Cody invested in the inn, and because he was getting famous at that point. Yeah. He used it as his headquarters during tryouts for the Wild West show. Oh. And local cowboys and cowgirls joined the show and traveled to Europe. Oh. So, I mean, you're some local middle of nowhere Wyoming and your kid's like, I'm going to join me the circus and travel to Europe. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, you're not.
He's buried in Colorado Springs.
Let me get this straight. Mm-hmm. So you did a tryout at the brothel, and now you're going to Europe. No, you're staying home, cowgirl. Sorry about that.
Those fucking
cowboy.
Boots off.
Yeah, I don't think so, kids. So by the 1910s here, Sheridan had the only long-distance electric trolley in the state, and had what they call, this is the town website. This is amazing. They say Sheridan had the only long-distance trolley line in the state, and a cosmopolitan population that included African Americans, Hispanics, and many immigrants from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
That's
what that means?
I believe translated, that is rich white for only a few blacks. Yeah. That's only a few black people. That would be cosmopolitan. And then when it was too many, as they would put it, then they'd say, it's not so cosmopolitan anymore that everyone here is black, because I feel like I don't think the rich white people would have been down with that. But when there's a couple, it's fucking kitschy, I feel like, for them. They're like, oh look, it's like a knick-knack.
It's so shabby chic.
Oh look, I'm an Asian.
Can you see that, honey? They got
Asian.
them too.
Yeah, whoa, look at that. Come on, kids, look, an Asian. Look at him. Oh,
they
wow.
Have them.
No, they're just going to put him in the mine. And they built the railroad already, so we're going to shove him into the ground. No, that's what they're there for. The kids. No, they don't feel any pain. They're like plants. Right. That's what they're telling the children.
Very little oxygen.
Yeah, very little down there. That's what it is. That's why they're small. It's less oxygen they need. Their lungs, like the size of a pea, just tiny.
We have long distance rail cars, and if it's a short distance, just ride our blacks.
We have lots of those. Well, a couple. We're cosmopolitan. Right. This isn't, This isn't some fancy East Coast town here. It's ridiculous, man. Years leading up to World War I, they had flour mills and shit like that. But 1920, Prohibition forced the brewery to produce soda pop after that, and turned the town into just a black market hole for bootlegging, speakeasies, prostitution, and illegal gambling.
Yeah.
Once you take away that booze, like people, they're medicated on the booze. Like you can fuck them a lot as long as they can have a few drinks at the end of the night.
Right.
Seriously, once you take that away, they're like, burn this motherfucker to the ground. I don't give a fuck. I need a whore. I'm not paying my fucking taxes. Where's my kid? I'm going to kick him in the fucking face. Black people, string him to fire. I don't give a fuck, goddammit.
Somebody
Let these
get me
people
a
drink.
poker game.
Let these people fucking, so that happened there. So, historically, in 1900, population was 1,559, and nowadays it is 17,873, which is up 29% since 1990.
Really?
People are fleeing to the middle of nowhere there, I guess. Median age of this town is pretty close to normal. It's about 38 and a half, even though there's a lot of old people. There's also the 25 to 34 age group is very high here, which is strange. I can't figure out exactly why. There's a lot of healthcare jobs and stuff like that, as we'll get into. Married population's a little higher, about 4% higher than the normal. Divorce rate's a little bit higher. Widowed rate's a little bit higher because there's some old people. Male and female, too. There is a lot more, 53% female, which is usually old people, denoting old people. Race of this town, 90% white. A cosmopolitan 1.11% black. Very cosmopolitan, as they would say.
This is very rivaling Tombstone.
That's what I'm saying. 0.99% Asian. So they could not hit the one threshold for the Asian population here. Native American, 1.08, which is about twice the normal there. And Hispanics are just over 5%. So it is fucking white, basically. It's excessively white. 44.3% religious. So less than the norm. I kind of think Wyoming might be one of those places where people I don't know, man. They're just tired of people's shit. If you move to Wyoming, you're moving there. It's
on purpose.
Very different. You're moving there because you're I don't give a fuck about your bullshit and your centralized anything. I want to fucking be on my own plot of something and not be able to see the next town, because that's what Wyoming feels like. It feels like you're, I don't know, I don't want to say on another planet, but it definitely feels like you're not connected to anything. You're definitely on your own, and if your car breaks down, you're probably going to die on the side of the road. That's how it feels like, which is a weird. It's like Mars, kind of.
This is it,
with pretty mountains and bison roaming free. It's weird as shit.
I love the state. It's the most.
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful.
Might be the most beautiful.
I don't know about that, but it's beautiful.
I've only been to Jackson Hole, and that place is fucking rad.
I don't know.
And it was cold as shit, but
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
No, they're gorgeous. It's pretty up there. It just feels like it's very shining up there, though. Like you're fucking trapped.
You're gonna eat yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna eat yourself. You're gonna get stuck, and you're gonna fucking need to gnaw your goddamn arm off and wander into town one-armed, but waving because you're friendly still, waving with one arm gone. Like, oh shit, what happened to him?
Well, you got that other sleeve pinned up to your shoulder.
That's the thing. I got to do that to keep the cold out. That's, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, or maybe if you're not from the United States, that's the Wyoming state flag. Is a one-armed cowboy waving. It's like a lone bison in the background.
A lone cowboy on a horse.
Waving, one arm with a sleeve pinned up. It's very sad. He's a striking figure up on that horse. Let me tell you something. He's, you'll feel his pain. You'll feel it.
There isn't much that saddens me more, like meeting somebody and that sleeve being pinned up. It is,
that's so sad.
That is a really intimidating conversation.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't fuck, man. Well, something bad happened
already, and I haven't even said my name to you yet.
And you're like, did you cut off by a thresher? Were you born with one of those little tiny ones and you just pinned your sleeve up because you don't want it to show? Like, what's the story? And I don't want to ask them because I feel bad.
Are you the guy from the movie where you got pinned betwing the rocks?
Oh,
is that you?
Yeah, did you do that? So it's very weird.
This is from a guy that's missing a digit.
Yeah,
it's still
at least you got to know. You're curious.
I got the forearm.
You're curious. That's fucking. So religions here: 15% Catholic, older people probably too. About 5% LDS. They're coming. That's an open area, snow to blend into. You can't get away from them there. 0.0% Jewish.
All right.
They're like, I don't think so. That lone cowboy. I like both my arms. Have a good one. 0.0% Muslim. Voting wise, 20% voted Democrat in the last presidential election. 70% voted Republican.
Wow.
And it is over 9% independent.
That's fascinating.
Which is more than we've seen. It's double the most we've ever seen. It's great. You're different. It's different up there.
It's a lot of free thinkers.
It's just a different deal.
But that 70 is awfully daunting to fuck with, too.
That's a lot. Yeah, those people. I think the ones who voted independent wanted more conservative than the Republicans had to offer. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
They're like, who are they running over there in that? What's that, Nazi party? Who that's running? Like, I feel like they're like, he isn't quite conservative enough for me. He lacks guns.
All he's doing is grabbing them.
He lacks guns, but when's the last time he shot somebody? Right. I don't believe him. So I feel like it's one of those.
All he's doing is grabbing them. How about punch him in the pussy?
That's right. That's right.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Jesus Christ.
You weak.
You gotta give it a good shot. So, fucking bleeding hearts. So unemployment rate's about 4.5 here, which is low because you don't move there unless you have a job lined up. Right. I feel like I'm going to move to the middle of nowhere, and I bet there'll be work. I know that doesn't happen. Median household income isn't bad. Nationally, it's about 53,500. Here, it is almost 50,000. It's 49 and change, so not too shabby. But 14% make under 15,000.
Okay,
so that's living tough here. Yeah. There's a lot of healthcare jobs, more than usual. That's about all I can find. That's kind of out of whack here. Yeah. Food services too, because it's a touristy, come here, get your picture taken with a statue of a cowboy type horseshit. Cost of living, 100 being par, average, regular. Here overall 105, and the high one is housing at 125. Median home cost is $234,400. But it's weird, they're all old houses. 23% of the houses were built before 1939, which is way higher than normal. Only 1%'s been built since 2010.
1%.
Only one. So that's 1% since 2010. Very strange here. And if we've convinced you that, damn it, the only place for you that you can be is Sheridan, Wyoming, waving back at the one-armed cowboy, we have for you the Sheridan, Wyoming Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here is about on par. It's about $1,300, which is a little higher than the average, but not too much. Yeah. Maybe that's the way to go because the houses they're expensive. Yeah. I found, but they're all like big and on some land. There's not a lot of like 800 square foot 2-bedroom bungalows here.
Really?
Like they're all kind of bigger. I found a 4.5. I don't know what a half bedroom is, but this place claims to have a half bedroom.
Is that one minus a closet?
Well, it's such a fucked up house. It might just be half a room fell off. Like literally, it's 4.5 bedroom, 1.5 bath, 2,696 square foot. It is rough.
I'll bet it doesn't have a window.
I bet it literally doesn't have a wall. Like there's no outside wall. It's kind of a patio, but if you put a bed on, it's got a half a bedroom. 131,900 for 2,700 square feet. It's amazing. Rough. Yeah. It's rough. Found a 5-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot house here for 230,000. Move-in ready. Very nice. It's all fine and dandy. Clean carpets and everything. And I found a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,376 square foot house here. Nice neighborhood, landscaping, walk up, the whole deal, trees and bushes and shit. $466,000. So it'll cost you to live nice there like that. It's going to cost, but I
like the idea though.
It's not a bad idea. I found a resident review, very odd. Most of them are positive here, by the way. They really like it. One I found here is, quote, "Don't move to Sheridan, only for rich old people, 2 stars."
2.
So, like, not that bad, though. But there's some nice restaurants.
Don't move there, but the old people seem to like it. I'll give them an extra
And they're
star.
very nice, the old people. Things to do is the Sheridan YWO, like Wyoming, parade, rodeo parade. It's known as, quote, they call it, quote, "the most marvelous hometown parade ever!" Exclamation point. So, marvelous. Get there for that. There's pancake breakfast.
Ugh.
Very exciting. Fucking gross. You know how I feel about pancakes. I've discussed it on this show before.
I've eaten them and I don't mind them, but a waffle is so much better.
Nobody has ever had a hot pancake. Ever. It's never happened. Ever. It's never fucking happened.
Why do they call them hotcakes?
By the time you prepare it, it's wishful thinking. By the time you prepare the pancake, you could just put some syrup on it super quick, take it 5 feet to where you're sitting down, pick up a fork, fucking ice cold. You can't eat it fast enough. You can't.
Yeah, you've never melted butter on a pancake.
It's like an old man trying to put a condom on. He's got... It's never gonna line up. It's not. He doesn't have enough time that it takes to actually do it. So it's never gonna fucking line. It takes he's got 2 seconds. It takes 5. Sorry. That's all there is to it.
That is incredible.
So fuck. Gross.
I just saw an old man with a hard dick trying to put it on.
And then it just went away quickly. By the time he opened it up, it's gone. Crime rate in this town. Not counting old men with their limp dicks. It's not a crime. As far as I know. Last time I checked anyway. I'm not sure.
Holy fuck.
Crime rate here. Property crime in this town is right on average in the rest of the country. But violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, of course, can't forget assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is less than half the average. It's super fucking low. Mm-hmm. This is like a pretty safe town. So I assume like it's touristy, so there'd be a little thievery shit like that with crime maybe, but nobody's killing anybody here pretty much, except these people who did kill people. Obviously.
Going to Mount Rushmore real quick, remember I asked you I'd like to know who made that? Yeah. It's a team of 6 people made that.
It's incredible that they did that.
And one of them founded the KKK. The founder of the KKK had to make a tribute to Abraham Lincoln. Yeah. That is fucking incredible.
That is pretty incredible. You know, that's just the weirdest fact.
That's the most
it's
fucking
so
fascinating thing ever.
Yeah, it is fascinating. That is kind of terrible.
What a piece of shit that guy is.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit, and he made this thing that's kind of weird.
And we're amazed by it.
And it's just kind of incredible that you could do that. But it's like, why did we do that?
Right.
Like, it's almost like, wow, that's amazing. Why did we do that?
Why do we have those?
Why is that a thing? I don't understand it. We could have just built a bit. I don't know. But yeah, and then he built something else too, which is not.
That's pretty amazing. It's just amazing for the wrong reasons.
I'm amazed. All right, it's fucking head shaking. I'll tell you that much. Like, wow, the fuck is going on there? Jesus Christ.
You say the same things looking at that mountain as you do when you look at the KKK. The fuck is going on
what the fuck is happening? Wow. Jesus. Really?
Oh, okay. Really?
So,
really?
Whatever.
Is this what we're going to do?
I don't know.
That's how we're going to spend our money? That's what we're going to do.
Apparently so.
Crosses and chisels and flamethrowers?
And Roosevelt. All right, whatever. It's fine. Teddy, obviously.
Yeah. And I don't understand why I get he's a president. Why did he earn his way up there?
Because he's like the Western outdoorsy guy. Yeah, they look at him as the Western outdoorsy. Plus, he's super fucking aggressive.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about one of our sponsors, Third Love.
Oh, is this thirdlove.com?
This is thirdlove.com/town if you want to get our promo code here. These great bras, they're fantastic. Trust us, we know. There's one thing Jimmy and I know, it's bras. I mean, obviously we don't know bras. We don't wear bras. We don't know this, but these bras we have given to people that we do know. My wife, Sarah, she loves them. She says it's the most comfortable one she's ever had in the world. I've heard nothing but raving about these.
Supportive.
And it seems like that's a big deal. Like I said, I'm not a woman, so I'm not positive of how the support here system would work and if that's a huge deal, but it seems like it really is. And so these are the bras for you. I'm telling you right now, the most sizes of any brand. Third Love just added 24 new sizes, making them the industry leader with a total of 70 sizes.
My goodness.
You'll find the right bra for you. Perfect fit using thousands of real women's measurements. Third Love designs its bras with breast size and shape in mind, so they fit impeccably and feel even better. Quality in every stitch here, details, premium fabrics, expert design. Shipping is really easy too. You don't have to go out and do this. Find your fit in 60 seconds online. Order, try it at home. No awkward fitting room experiences. Nobody sizing up your
nobody touching you,
sizing up your breasts and looking at them and making you feel uncomfortable. Also, this is cool. There's a Fit Finder quiz, and I saw this, and this is what I was watching Sarah do here. I was watching her go through the process, and you would just answer a few simple questions, and next thing you know, you have this amazing, perfect bra. It's actually not that bad. It only takes a couple of seconds. It's really not that intrusive or anything like that. They help you identify your breast size and shape and the style that fits your body. Third Love, like we said, most sizes you're going to get, and they guarantee a perfect fit. Returns and exchanges are free and easy. Third Love knows there's a bra for everyone. So right now they are offering our listeners 15% off your first order. All you need to do is go to thirdlove.com/town to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your order. That's thirdlove.com/town for 15% off today.
thirdlove.com/town. 15% off. Go get your bras. And now back to the show.
So anyway, let's talk about a murder that happened in this wonderful, wonderful place of Sheridan, Wyoming here. This is a weird murder. Yeah. And it's one of those things where I try to tell stories different ways in terms of let's start here, then let's start here. But this one, we just kind of have to start where it starts and let it play out from there, and then kind of let the story fill in and explain it, because I don't know any other way, because it's just a terrible dismount. We'll put it that way. All right, here. Now, let's start out on January 15th, 2010.
Okay.
So, time machine doesn't have to go back too far here. We're not too many shit.
Not even going to warm up.
Not too much swirling around. The clocks are just a couple of turns and they're fine.
It's a light breeze.
It's a light breeze. We're spinning very slowly, going, whoa. Yeah. That's it. So, January 15th, 2010, a woman walks into the Sheridan Police Department on that afternoon, middle of the afternoon. Now, right away, I'm sure it's not like this because there's 17,000 people, so they got to have a decent police force. They can't have like 3 guys who take shifts like, well, you're morning today. I don't know. Somebody's got to do it. They got to have a decent, but I picture just heavy set sheriff type, feet up on the desk with cowboy boots on, hat pulled down over the eyes while a cartoon comes in on the antenna screen. It's got like a jail in the background with a guy. Yeah, with the bars. He's got like a big key ring with all the keys, and like the guy in the jail's trying to get to his dog to like fucking go get the keys for him. That's what I picture. Yeah. Like, playing in the background.
Like the sheriff from Stranger Things.
That's what
big one.
Yeah, like that, but 50 years earlier. Because for some reason, everything in Wyoming seems like it should be in like the 30s or the 1880s, and it's dusty. And I don't know why. Even modern now, I feel like everyone's driving a 1955 truck. Very strange. So
Felix the cat on TV.
Yeah, he's goddamn it, woman coming in here interrupting my Huckleberry Hound.
What? What in the grape ape do you want?
What in the Sigmund and the Sea Monster is going on in this sons of bitches? Goddamn it!
Hanna-Barbera do you want?
What in the Hanna-Barbera is going on in this goddamn place? Those are the oldest cartoons I can think of from the side. They're all before my time, those cartoons. I don't know any of them well.
What in the Bullwinkle?
What in the Rocky and Bullwinkle is going on in this goddamn place? Now I gotta pull my hat above my eyes. Now, damn it. Take my feet off my desk. You had a problem? This lady does have a problem. Okay. She has an issue. Her name is Dee Himes. Deehimes. Dee Himes. She comes in and says, hello, Sheriff, I assume. He lifts his hat up, ma'am. Ma'am. Hold on. I'm also a postal worker. Let me take my pith helmet off and put on my cowboy sheriffing hat. Sorry. I own this whole town. Did I tell you?
Excuse me, man.
Excuse. Just state flag waving behind him. One-armed cowboy back there. That's what I picture. So she has an interesting thing to report here. Not your everyday occurrence, I assume, for these people, being the violent crime rate is low. Yeah. She comes in and says, okay, I live in a trailer, this whole thing. First of all, let's tell you who lives in this trailer. Let's start out with that, okay? Yeah. It's a trailer in Wyoming. It is Dee Himes, her boyfriend, Dennis David. Which, that is not a good name. No. I do not like that name. Dennis David?
No.
David Dennis would be a much better name than Dennis David. I don't like that name at all.
Dennis as a last name is much better than as a first name.
It's not a good first name. No, but Dennis is like what you name someone in a movie who you want people to think is an asshole.
Right.
Like Dennis the Menace is because, well, it rhymes with menace, number one. But number two, he's supposed to be like a little shit. He's not supposed to be like a nice guy. Dennis on Always Sunny is supposed to be a dick,
right.
and his name fits it. It just fits him perfectly.
He's so good at it. That guy's great.
Oh, he's a fucking great actor, Glenn Howard, and he's hilarious. But Dennis is an asshole.
Yeah.
You're naming it like he's our asshole character. What do we name him? Dennis. Yeah. That's the one. So Dennis is that. So her boyfriend, Dennis David, and also living there, they have a couple other people in the trailer because, a couple's not enough. We got to put more people into the mix here. Also is 28-year-old Sean Osborne, kind of a local fuck up, basically, just kind of bounces and just a fuck about this guy. And then 42-year-old Gerald Bloom, who apparently doesn't have his life together that much either. He's sharing a fucking living in an extra room in a trailer with these people. So with a guy named Dennis.
You see that these are all men, except for, obviously
D is there.
She lives with a dude.
That's her boyfriend. Right. They're the couple, and then people are like auxiliary of that.
It's never three women in a trailer.
Not usually.
It's never
They'll get their shit together and get a structure.
Right.
Three women. That's
or date a guy that's got a house. They figure it out one way or another.
Absolutely. Yeah, women are definitely. They're not going to be like, let's all join in and we'll get this tin box together. Right. They're going to find somewhere.
If we're going to be resourceful and pool our money, let's get something with stucco.
Let's get something with stucco, or they're going to figure it out. Something with studs. I want a stud in the wall. Yeah. How about that? This is not. When I hang a picture, I don't want it all to be just. I don't want to hear tin on the other side of that nail. This isn't working out. So these four people live in the trailer.
Yeah.
So she shows up, and also her boyfriend Dennis David shows up with her, but she is she's the talker here.
She's the voice.
She's the voice. Yeah. She goes in and says, "Okay, Sheriff, there, you can pause Huckleberry Hound for one moment while I tell you, there is a dead body underneath the trailer of my home. Where underneath it of our house, of our trailer, where me and my boyfriend live. Dead body under there. Yeah. So I don't know. You might want to." Take a peek at that. Right. So the cop is interested. I could picture him wiping wiping the cold out of his eyes. With one hand, because obviously his sleeve's pinned up on the other side. And he's like, oh, Jesus, hold on. Let me wipe the cold out. What the hell's going on here? So he does this. She explains. He said, well, how do you know who it is? Do you have an issue here? She said, okay, here's what happened. Sean Osborne, who lives in the home, 28-year-old Sean Osborne, who we talked about. I was sleeping, she says. Me and my boyfriend, Dennis David here, are sleeping. I can't call him that. David Dennison, I'm going to call him. That's his new name. David Dennison and myself. Isn't that so much better?
Yeah,
David Dennison.
It's
a fine name.
Softens that one.
David Dennison. That's a good name. I trust that guy. Yeah. He's like an attorney I'd hire, So
you can have my money.
Yeah. David Dennison. David Dennison, if you're out there, David Dennison, we're open to business opportunities. So
I'll invest with you.
We'll invest with you. So Dee and David were asleep in bed, and what happened was Sean Osborne burst into our room in the morning here and just shook us awake and said,
y'all wake up.
Y'all wake up quick. And they were like, what the fuck's going on? He goes, Gerald from the other room, I killed him.
Oh my God.
They were like, huh? What the fuck are you talking about?
Wake me up.
No, I don't even want to hear good news for 20 minutes.
I want rubbing on my shoulder. Shh, hey.
I just want no news. I want to stare. I want to contemplate. Yeah, that's why I don't even want that. I want to contemplate my existence for 20 minutes and figure out if I want to do this again for another 24 hours. That's what I want to do.
Hey, life's still happening.
If you hit me with bad news, that decision becomes much easier, and I don't want that. I can't have that. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the edge, Jimmy. Right. So what I'm getting at here is, she is, I'm sure, freaked out, awoken to say, hey, by the way, I killed our roommate. Mm-hmm. No one wants to hear that shit. You had to do it here.
Hey, y'all. Rent just went up.
Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all, remember how we used to pay $0.25 each? Right. It's going to be a third now. By my math, and I got a calculator on my watch here. It's pretty high tech.
Third.
It's a third now. So it's going to go up a little bit.
Morning, y'all.
Morning. I got good news and bad news.
Every bill just went up.
Good news is free bedroom now. It's open. So that's a good news. Storage, or we could rent it out. Bad news, rent's up by a third. Electric bill's going to be up a little bit, but the water should be down because there'll be less showering. Right. So it could work out in our favor. It should work out in our favor. We'll put it that way. I'm not sure about it, but in the end, I think we're going to come out on top here. So
I think that's the smartest thing I've ever heard in my life. That was so brilliant. Everything's going up except water.
Less shower. I don't know how many lights he'd be using in his room, but I mean, that'll probably stay. You won't even notice, I don't think, the lights, because we have to keep it the same temperature, obviously.
But
the water, he definitely he ain't going to be flushing no toilets no more. He ain't going to be taking a shower. I mean, he didn't shower that much to begin with.
He has taken his last.
Poor Gerald Bloom, apparently, has been killed, is what he says. So he said, well, come and look. Uh-huh. So she went, okay, which first of all, I'm like, I'll take your word for it. Yeah. Have you notified anyone of this factor? He didn't say he's dead. He said, I killed him. So that's did the cops know? Yeah. Are we just leaving him there? Right. There's a lot of questions to ask, I think, at this point. She goes to the room because she doesn't believe him. She woke up and she's just got this dipshit who lives in her house going, I killed Gerald. And she's like, get the fuck out of here. You killed Gerald. What are you talking about? 7:00 in the morning. Nobody gets killed at 7:00 in the morning.
Right.
Unless she gets up, she goes into the room. Sure as shit, she goes, I'll be a son of a bitch. There he is, lying on the floor, fucking dead as a doornail.
Oh boy.
So she's having a bad morning.
This is the worst morning.
She's had no coffee, nothing. Yeah. This is terrible. She said that later on that morning, now this is where I don't understand it. She said she jumps right to, now later on he told me this, and the cops got to be like, what did you do? Like, did you just go back to sleep? Like, did you just shrug your shoulders and say, well, I don't know, I guess I got to clean the kitchen? Like, what the fuck is happening here?
You did what? Yep, there he is.
There he is. Apparently, she just went back in the room and was like, closed the door and was like, I don't know, he killed Gerald in there or something. Whatever. I was just, what's on TV?
Maybe she's trying to reset it. Just going and laying back down and being like, I'm going to shut my eyes.
None of this happened.
Back up. This is all bullshit.
It's all, this has to be a bad dream.
Rent's the same.
Rent's the same. Water bill's fine. It's all, we can still pay it. It's fine. Yeah. Instead, she says that later on, she was informed by Mr. Osborne here that he moved. Don't worry. He's not on the floor in the bedroom, because I mean, that's in the way. Yeah. No one wants a body in the bedroom.
Trip on it.
Don't worry about that. I went and took him and buried him under the trailer. Perfect. So we're cool. We're good. We're good now.
My man.
So she was like, oh, okay, good. And that's fine. And went about her business and that whole thing. So literally, that's what happened.
That's it.
She didn't go. That wasn't what sent her to the cops.
What?
the I killed Gerald Bloom doesn't send her to the cops or to anything. There he is. Oh, shit, there's his body lying in my extra bedroom. Doesn't send her to the cops.
Right.
By the way, buried him. Not I took him and threw him in a swamp in the woods, and I think there's alligators there. I took him to a grizzly bear cave and shoved him inside. None of that shit. He literally was like, right under the trailer, and that like, it's a trailer. It can be moved so easily. This is not a house where he's like, I broke up the concrete, dug an 8-foot hole, buried him, put the dirt back, and then reconcreted it over. Looks perfect. Yeah. I even like put a date in from like the 70s so it looked like it's original. Like, I really fucking did a good. None of that shit. He just dug a little hole under the dirt and stuck them on in there.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is that? So that doesn't send her to the police either. Okay. What sent her to the police finally was that afternoon. She was awoken like 7 a.m. This is like 7 hours later, 6 hours later, where she's like, I don't know. There was a guy coming over named John Neal. He was coming over, and Sean Osborne told Dee that if Neal was going to come over, he said, quote, Neal's going to be next.
Oh my God.
So he's planning on now he's just in a frenzy of killing. Well, I killed. It's like they took the booze away, and he's like, well, fuck it, I'm killing everybody. Like, that's what fucking happened to this guy.
Hookers and poker too.
Hookers and poker and everything. So watch out later on. It's gonna get messy in here. You might want to stay in your room. So that apparently freaked Dee and David Dennison out enough to where they said, you know what? We should probably go to the cops, because he killed the one roommate. The thought of him possibly killing more, he's killed one, killed our roommate. That's bad. Yeah. Obviously. Now he's going to kill this guy. Right. We don't even know what the fuck he did to him. And who's to say we're not next, I think was the thing. Like
at some point he's going to run out of people close by.
At some point he's going to want the big bedroom, and he's going he's going to decide that he's willing to fucking kill for it, I think. So who knows? We better go to the goddamn police. So they go to the police. This ends up happening. So obviously, based on this report,
right,
the cops want to go have a chat with this guy, I would imagine. So he's killed one. He wants to kill more. Apparently, allegedly, there's a body buried under the trailer. Right. So, this is we have potential to go in and find something that's whatever and
distressing
and put the right guy away is what they're doing here. So they go to the trailer, the police, which is amazing, by the way. The way this works out is incredible. They go to the trailer, they knock on the fucking door, and they're like, police, okay. Sean, who is inside, just comes to, they don't go around the door. They don't go around the house banging for 10 minutes and he won't answer the door. And they're like, come on, Sean, rapping on the window with the flashlight going, we know you're in there, come on out. They knock on the door, just Sheridan police. And he just opens the door. Hey guys, how you doing? Literally just woke up, one-armed, obviously, wiping the cold out of his eye.
Morning, y'all.
Morning, just happy as can be, totally fine. Problem is, his clothes are covered in blood.
Oh my God.
And his arms are above his wrists, up his forearms are just stained with blood.
What?
He's clearly, he looks like he just came from a butcher shop and was it's ridiculous. Yeah. He works in a slaughterhouse. He came to the door like that, answered the door for the cops. Hey, how's it going, guys?
What in the Yosemite Sam is going on here?
So they're like, can we come in? And he's like, yeah, sure, come on in. Okay. So they're like, this is good for cops. Everybody wants their job to be easier.
Yeah.
Nobody wants her to be like, I have to go do that now. Everyone wants it to all fall into place. Yeah. So far, you have witness saying this guy killed a guy and he's buried under the trailer. So we assume there's a body under there. We come in covered in blood, covered, clothes, fucking arms stained in blood, everything. So far, I feel like we're on to something. You know what I mean? I just feel like we're on to something.
We're warm.
Yeah. Okay. So they walk around just doing a plain view search kind of a thing, check it, and they don't have to look under the furniture or lift up the couch cushions or anything like that, because in the sink is a big giant knife with a bunch of diluted blood all around the sink and shit like that, with every cleaning product in the house lined up on the counter, he was experimenting.
Evidence bingo.
Yeah, this doesn't clean it too well. I wonder if Comet will take out blood. Oh, look at that. That's not bad, but not off my arms apparently, or my fucking murder pants. What the fuck is going on here?
They have found a Yahtzee.
So yeah, they're like, okay, diluted blood there, the blood all over the counter of him trying to get it off his hand. If you're that bloody and there's blood everywhere, it's getting everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're not smart enough not to do this in the place you live, then you're probably not smart enough to clean up after it either.
I've had a nosebleed in my sink. And there was 7
disaster.
drops, and it looked like my face exploded.
It looked like your throat was slit while you were brushing your teeth. You're
oh my God, it's everywhere.
Right from behind. You owed a Colombian fucking cocaine cartel a shitload of money.
7 drops of blood. And I couldn't get it to go down the sink. I'm like, why is the water still red?
Yeah,
Jesus
Christ. Oh, by the way, that knife ended up, that belongs to Sean.
Yeah.
Is this your knife? Sure is. Okay, then. So, knife belongs to him. It's not from the, cutting the big wooden block from the kitchen or anything like that. It's his fucking knife. So far, we're witness, a body covered in blood, murder weapon. Okay, this is looking good so far here.
This is pretty solid for police work.
Not bad. We need, what we need now though? The scene. Where was he killed? We need some evidence to tie into that. Oh, look in this bedroom. Big giant blood stains on the carpet in one of them. Well, that looks pretty good there.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. So they're like, you know what? Everything else is checked out. Yeah. This looks pretty murdery.
Yeah.
All around. I'm looking around. It's murderish in here at least, at the very least. But there's something a little off.
Yeah.
What do you say we just check and see if maybe that body's there, like that lady told us? Maybe fuck it. I feel like I got a hunch about this one. So they go into the crawl space underneath the trailer, and holy shit, sleeping bag with Gerald Bloom inside of it. Obviously not alive.
Right.
So bingo. So they just hit the bingo.
Right.
They got murder weapon.
That's B6.
Body.
Yeah.
Fucking
I-22.
we got a blood stain. It's at the murder site. And murderer who is covered in the victim's blood, head to toe. Okay, then I think that's all we need here.
Ready.
They can pretty much just take him to a prison cell. They don't even need to take him to jail.
Slap some cuffs on that prisoner because I am the greatest investigator of all time.
I mean, I really am. That's the thing. See, some people gotta work hard for it because their brains ain't as sharp as mine.
Right.
See, for me, it looks like I'm just sitting around watching Huckleberry Hound, but in reality, my mind is working. It's like a steel trap.
Gears are spinning.
And I'm coming up, I'm solving cases. I willed this to happen. I willed it. When we walked up to the trailer, I said, everything's going to be in here.
Yeah.
And we are good. So that's the thing. It's mainly about will. It's not about skill. It's more about will. Ain't about skill. It's about will. I'm going to do seminars now across the country. Hey, book me on some shit across the country. I think I'm going to talk to other police officers.
I got to get back to that blue dog.
Less about skill, more about will. And I willed this to be the easiest murder slam dunk in the history of police work. Right. Because what in the fuck is going on?
I'm a hero.
You don't even need anything else. Like, done. Small town murder, but no, there's more. Okay. The reasons and everything else, this is what the crazy part is, okay? So far, we just see an idiot, and how could anyone be so stupid? Well, let's find out and a couple of things here. By the way, the autopsy reveals that Mr. Bloom here, Gerald Bloom, died as a result of stab wounds to the neck.
Yeah.
To the neck. And it's worse than that, as we'll talk about, because that's just the end result.
Plural in the neck.
Yeah. There's many, and we'll talk about here. Now, I love how they put this too in a court document. I love some things I just have to put word for word because they're so funny. Quote, based upon the evidence found at the trailer home and the witness statements, the officers took Mr. Osborne to the police station to be interviewed.
Yeah.
That's the most mild thing I've ever heard in my life. Based upon all this obvious shit that he killed somebody, they cuffed his ass, stuffed him into a car, and been like, well, this is going to be fucking easy, you dumb shit, and made fun of him all the way to the station for his inept fucking murdering. Yeah. You stupid bastard. So what the fuck, man? So during this interview, they tell him what they know of so far. Mm-hmm. They because they try to get you to feel as fucked as possible. Right. We have all this stacked against you. You might as well just admit it. So they tell him, obviously we have witnesses to this and we've interviewed them, so that's an issue. We have just as much evidence as a fucking people could have.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there, covered in blood, dude. You're still covered in. You're talking to us right now, covered in the victim's blood. Right. So that's a problem for you. I feel you're the only person covered in their blood. That's a thing. They said, maybe you want to tell your side of the story here. So this fucking moron, you want to know what this is over? Why he's so fucking angry about everything? And this is my favorite. Now, we've heard some stupid fucking reasons for a murder in our realm here, but this might take the cake. He says, first of all, that sumbitch owed me $20.
Okay.
That's it.
First of all and last of all,
no.
$20.
He owed me $20.
That's the whole
period.
Bonus. That's it.
And he killed my little sister. None of that. Just he owed me $20. I could see if he killed his sister after he still owed him $20. That's fucked up at that point. Because I mean, if somebody owes you money and they're killing your siblings, that's fucked up. $20. $20.
That's what he needed.
That's all he needed. $20. Pissed off about that. He says that they got into a fight. And it went a little too far. And his exact statement is when they said, look, we have all these witness statements and shit. He said, what do you think about that? He said, well, quote, pretty sure what everyone else said is what happened, which not the best thing to say for yourself. Then he says that he got into a fight with Gerald over $20 that he owed him.
Yeah.
And he said it, quote, went a little too far.
A lot of too far.
The understatement of the year, I'd say. A little too far. Stab wound to the neck, buried in a crawl space under a trailer is way too far.
My God.
Then he says, well, I guess I should get an attorney. He said, quote, I'm in some deep shit, I know. I guess I need to talk to a lawyer to figure out whether it's going to be for life or for 10 years. That's what he told the cops.
There's a vast difference between those two, sir.
He's the most casual, completely caught murder suspect I've ever fucking heard in my life.
Also, maybe you should have talked to a lawyer maybe an hour ago.
Before you said all those...
all that shit you just said is not good.
Before you said he owed me $20, and I'm sure what everyone else said is pretty much what happened.
And it got a little out of control.
It got out of control, and that's what happened here. Now, because they said, well, cops will do that too. They'll say, like, well, I mean, you guys get in an argument. Maybe you got in a fight. Maybe you got out of control.
Maybe
and
he owed you some money.
He tried to, maybe he thought he was pulling a weapon on you and he got scared. You never know. Self-defense. You're not going to, if it's you or him, it's got to be him. Sometimes it happens. And then you go, yeah, we got in a fight and it got out. But he was just like, nah, he owed me $20 and I was pissed about it. So we got in a fight, got a little out of control.
Maybe
and
went too far.
Guess I'm fucked now. There was no like excuse. He just said, I guess I'm in deep shit. And he said, whether it's going to be for life or 10 years. I love that one.
What do you think? There's a sentence 10 to life, sir?
I think he thought like, shit, you get one of them fancy manslaughter bids. One of them fancy involuntary manslaughter deals.
I could be out of this bitch in 10 years.
I could be home killing somebody else in a trailer in 10 years. Boy, this is going to be great. So that at that point is when he requested an attorney and the cops ended the interview because they were like, well, we fucking got everything we need anyway. He said he killed him. He's covered in blood. I think it's... Talk to an attorney all you want, asshole. He's all yours.
Let's go on home.
Let's do it. So, this point, the state also has a forensic pathologist examine the body. They confirm at this point, we'll find out how this happened, that Gerald Bloom had been both strangled around the neck and his throat had been slit twice. Oof. 2 throat slits and stabbed in the neck at least 4 times.
Good Lord.
So that's a lot. Yeah. That's 3 different deaths in one. So any of those are good, I feel like. It's enough. And this is a lot of overkill for $20. It's really a lot. He says that 2 of the pathologist says that 2 of the stab wounds involved what he would call significant force, like really tore right through there. They weren't just like a, little stab. It was like it was more of a raw than a, it was like a rageful stab.
Okay.
Like a poke stab, you owe me $20. Yeah, stab you in the neck real fast. Take that. Man.
Quick jab.
This was like a fucking...
it wasn't a rabbit punch. It was a haymaker.
Yeah, this was a fucking haymaker. Going to take some arteries out with this fucking thing here. Meant for death. Very good here. He also says that the knife that they found in the diluted blood and comet in his sink that he said belonged to him was consistent with both the stab wounds and the slitting. Okay. So that's a thing where with a lot of knives, maybe the stab wound would be consistent but not the slit or whatever. But this knife was multi-purpose. Yeah. It was the Ginsu murder knife. Very nice. Bitch. It's a bad one. The thing is, the infomercials for this are on very late at night, so you don't see it often, but it's very helpful. It can both stab and slit. You don't see that often in a knife. It's
like a boning knife. Like a fish boning knife.
Hell of a feature. Yeah, it's very nice here. Now, the circuit court judge here, as in charge of setting shit, he sets bond for Sean Osborne, who not no bail either, gives him a $150,000 bond, which honestly he's killing over $20. So I feel like $150,000 is like $800 million to him. It doesn't matter. You know how many $20 I need?
It's an awfully low amount, but for him, it may as well be. Yeah, it may as well be the national debt.
That's what I mean. I feel like if you're going, whatever, this would be like if you took like somebody with $100 million in the NFL quarterback and you said $30 quadrillion, and they were like, I don't know how much that is, and like, it doesn't matter, no bond. That's what they did with him.
He may as well be in charge of paying back China.
That's it. Yeah, like what? I feel like that. Yeah. Can you pull that together? Sitting there in his prison orange outfit.
I just super killed a man for $20.
Killed a guy
super killed him.
I know they got a trailer. Y'all put your trailer up. What's that? It's worth $17,000. Okay, that's pretty close. I need more. I feel there's more I need. It would be all the trailers of everyone he knows wouldn't get this guy bailed out of fucking jail.
He punches in $150,000 and deducts 17, and then looks at the number. He goes, I thought it would be less.
Yeah, I thought it would be
17
less.
Seems like a lot.
Shit, them trailers are shitty. I guess that's why women never live in them together. Damn it! Now I understand.
Now I get it.
Men will live together in trailers. They don't give a shit.
They'll live in a fucking car together. They don't care.
Men won't even need a fucking bedroom. That's the thing. They'll be like, can I sleep on your floor face down? No, right by where your dog sleeps. If I could just stay there, that'd be terrific. They don't give a fuck. Do y'all use your bathtub early in the morning? Because if not, I'll just crash there. I'll be out of there.
Keep your dog's balls so warm.
7:30. It's ridiculous. Guys are idiots.
Spoon and cup his balls.
That's how dumb guys are. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about one of the best things out there, Blue Apron.
BlueApron.com.
Come on, guys. You've heard about Blue Apron. If you haven't heard the words Blue Apron, I don't know where you've been. Maybe you don't know what it is. If you don't, I don't know what planet you're on, but they're an amazing company that delivers farm-fresh ingredients and step-by-step recipes right to your door. Blue Apron's mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone, and that's exactly what they do. I'm telling you guys, you get this box. It has everything you need in it. The recipes are step-by-step, even if you don't know how to cook. Yeah. If you're not good at cooking, you can follow these recipes, and they include every last little spice, every fleck of anything you could need in that recipe is in there, and not more than you need. You're not going to have all leftover little packets of things. It is fantastic. Let Blue Apron do the meal prep for you. Dinner is in as little as 20 minutes. You can choose from chef design recipes. They deliver fresh, seasonally inspired ingredients. Dinner in as little as 20 minutes. That's it right there. That's nothing more you can say than that makes it any better. Every week, at least 3 recipes built in with your busy schedule in mind. These are really, really good recipes too. This isn't garbage. We have smoky chicken and sweet potato. This is amazing. Hot Italian sausage pizza, home style beef medallions and maple pan sauce, beef and broccoli and cumin spiced sauce, hearty vegetable grain bowl. These are all some choices this week, and they have wine plans, different size plans, everything like that. You cannot go wrong with Blue Apron. They offer a range of recipes, all different things, whether you're looking for a quick little meal or a more of a full course thing, culinary. They have all of this stuff to choose from. They're chef design recipes. So check out this week's menu of all that delicious stuff we told you about and get your first 3 meals free at blueapron.com/small. That's blueapron.com/small to get your first 3 meals free. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
Blueapron.com/small for 3 free meals. Go get your meals. And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more from our friends at Simply Safe.
SIMPLISafe.com/small.
Right? That's right. If you've been thinking about getting a Simply Safe home security system, but have been waiting for the holidays when all the good tech deals come out, you've made a smart move, because right now we can get you a great deal on Simply Safe. If you just go to simplysafe.com/small, you get 25% off any new system. That's an amazing deal. They rarely do anything like this, but they're doing it just for the podcast listeners, so take advantage of this. Simply Safe is great protection for your home and family. They don't make you sign a contract. There's no hidden fees, nothing silly like that. They're getting great reviews. CNET, PC Mag, and Wirecutter all say Simply Safe is the best security system there is, hands down. So if you're looking for a security system and want a great deal, do it now. Go to simplysafe.com/small to save 25%. Make sure you go there. That's Simply Safe, SIMPLISafe.com/small right now for 25% off. And hurry, this deal ends November 26th.
SIMPLISafe.com/small. Go get your security system. And now back to the show.
So he's expected at this point to have to reappear in court, obviously for a preliminary hearing to figure out what the fuck is going on and what he's being charged with and all that. I assume murder, and that's what it is. He is charged with first-degree murder, as a matter of fact, which is the big one.
That's not the one that gets you 10 years.
That's the other one, I believe, is what he was. Yeah, that's the other end of that. That's not, it's involuntary manslaughter. It got out of hand.
Right.
$20. I mean, you could buy a lot with $20. Right. That's plenty.
Very boutique.
It's very cosmopolitan. That's what the cop should have said when he came to the door covered in blood. Very cosmopolitan. Wow. So when you're charged with a first-degree murder of this sort, you must make a plea, and he does. He pleads not guilty by reason of mental illness or deficiency.
Okay.
So he's going for this approach. Yeah. Now you would, just as an outsider looking in, you'd go, yeah, he's probably pretty stupid based on his actions. But we'll find out exactly what he's going for, because he's also going for an alcohol defense as well, because we'll find out what his evening was like leading up to this whole thing. He'd been drinking quite a bit.
Yeah.
We'll find out exactly how much, but it's an It's an obscene amount.
Really?
Like, it's an absolutely monstrous, like, it's like an 80s hair metal band amount of alcohol. Like, just too much. Someone's going to die and have to be brought back to life.
Like a comedy condo amount of alcohol.
Like, a ridiculous first-time feature in a crazy city, like, going nuts type
just
of alcohol.
Wild.
Too much here.
Right.
So he enters that plea. The district court orders him to be evaluated at the Wyoming State Hospital 2 different times. The first time is to determine whether he was mentally fit to proceed at all in the whole thing, or is he just a fucking wackadoo?
Sure.
And then the second one was to determine whether, due to mental illness or deficiency, he lacked the capacity at the time of the killing to appreciate the wrongfulness of his conduct or conform his conduct to the requirements of law, which is the legal terminology there. So they're saying they're trying to see if they can get him, he's trying to get a mental pass on this one before it even starts.
A murder hall pass?
Yeah, no, he's way too fucking crazy. That's what he's looking for right now, basically. So they don't give it to him. I would like to meet
somebody that cannot appreciate the wrongfulness of murder. I realize they exist.
It happens.
I realize there's somewhere.
They're not like people that you would normally like. They're literally people who don't know where they are, who think there's voices in their head and sees like hallucinations. And
maybe meet them is the wrong word. I think it's observe.
Yeah,
I'd love to stand
through
behind
a window, through a glass that they can't see you.
Mirror, right? Partition, and just or like eyes in a painting.
Like a Mona Lisa, and you just look through it and go back and forth. My eyes are going back and forth. You can't see that at all.
Watch him like that.
Yeah, that would be. It's weird too because back in the day, especially like 40s, 50s, 60s, like they would just fucking they put a lot of people away that were murderers. Like there was a lot of people who were quote criminally insane, and they'd put them in an institution, and then lo and behold, 5 years later, they're all better.
They're better,
and they get out. Like
they're
that,
all good now.
That happened all the time.
Really,
all the time back then. They have really tightened the standards of illegally, too crazy to appreciate. They changed it to you have to be, now it's so tight, that's what the limits are. Yeah. You have to be so fucked up that you don't have the capacity to appreciate the wrongfulness of murder.
You're just sitting there with a finger going blah, 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 blah,
that's what I mean. You have to be literally, I thought I was on planet Neptune and he was an alien and I was Luke Skywalker. Like you have to have a crazy, and they have to believe that that's what you really fucking thought. Whereas before,
and still think that.
Yeah, before, if you were like a rich family and your son killed somebody, you just pay for a lawyer and then have the whole thing done. So they just put him in an institution for a few years, and then he'd get out in 5 years, and you give him a new name and nobody would know. That's how it was.
1940s white privilege is much better than today's.
Oh well,
that
you could
awesome.
Fucking kill people. Yeah, that was fine. Yeah, that was amazing.
Jesus, that's
the definition.
incredible.
But that's what they used to. Rich people used to do that back in the day, and now you have to actually. But still they get off on it. But you have to. It's a lot more narrow anyway. So the state hospital concludes that he is mentally fit to proceed, and he did not lack the capacity to appreciate the wrongfulness of his conduct. So he was on planet Earth and knew that his name was Sean, is what they're saying, because that's really all that you need to do it. Because they say that they've tried 10-year-olds as adults and said that they could appreciate the wrongfulness and appreciate, not that a 10-year-old knows. That's ridiculous, by the way, when they do that with kids. I'm sorry. If a child believes in, if someone believes in the Easter Bunny, then they fall under, they can't appreciate the wrongfulness of that. They think a giant bunny brings them candy. They don't know how the world works.
No.
They don't understand what 50 years is. They don't understand that this person won't come back to life like in a fucking cartoon. They're children. Like I hate when they fucking do. I hate when they do that.
It's a bit much.
It's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah,
and it's just silly. Like remember when you were 12?
Yeah,
not even 10.
Yeah,
you're a fucking idiot when you're 12.
10,
even.
I was real dumb.
10. I probably thought Santa Claus was a possibility. Still, I was probably like, you know what? It could happen. It could happen.
And insanely gullible. Like you
could talk me into
fucking anything.
Yeah, because you're 10.
Yeah.
So into fucking anything when you're 10. When I was 10, I was just walking around with my dick out, fucking anything. I didn't give a shit what happened. I just said, "Ooh, look at that! I'm a fuck it." All right.
At 6, I went to SeaWorld, and they
talked to you in a fucking Anorca, and
almost,
you were like, "This is messed up."
They pulled me out of the crowd.
Fucked the blowhole good. Now, my cousin's real persuasive. I ain't gonna lie. No, I'm sorry.
They pulled me as a child out of the crowd to feed the fucking whales.
Oh, no.
And then they pulled like a fish out of a bucket and told me to put it on the ground and stomp on it. And I did it and like obliterated a fish on the. And they go, "We were just kidding, sir. Hold this."
Well, you were 10. What did they think?
Stomp on it. And I just exploded.
You don't know. You feel like maybe it's like a Jewish wedding. I don't fucking know.
You're married.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Hey. All right. Everybody's happy now? What the fuck?
I just splattered a smelt for you.
Maybe the whale is Jewish and that's his tradition. And
so
you were trying to be culturally sensitive.
So
Jimmy,
then I threw a
kid.
fish to it. And then they grabbed like a whole bucket and like threw it all in its mouth. And I was just like, well, why didn't you just have me do that shit?
Because they can't like you as much as us. That's why.
Because they can't make me try to squish a whole bucket of fish.
That's it would have been a
one
mess.
At a time. Fucking
you would have been a disaster. Fish guts all up your pant legs.
And I walked around SeaWorld with fish all over my leg.
Jesus.
Because you don't do it with 2 feet.
In
you
the
just
San
do it with
Diego heat.
1 foot, you slam it, and then all inside your left leg is full of fish.
Full of fucking rotting fish guts. Jesus
and
Christ.
I'm going to go see the dolphins like this next.
Orca grade fish guts. That's not like sushi grade either.
Right.
That's, you know.
It's orca krill. It's
just some shit they found and dug up.
Yeah.
So preliminary hearing for Sean Osborne here. They do find there is enough evidence to proceed because we detailed it. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's enough evidence to proceed, like I said, with him straight to prison. Like, we don't even need a trial for you. You're an idiot. Like, this is...
They didn't even use this as a Law and Order episode because it would have been 5 minutes.
It would have been so fucking
Opening
short.
credits, Dick Wolf, guilty Dick Wolf.
Somebody trips over the body in the bedroom, like, I'm calling the police. And the Orbach comes over, or whoever the fuck is the guy. I haven't watched Law and Order in 15 years.
Hargitay.
A couple of these people come over and they look around and they go, oh, it's him. And then the trial's like 4 hours long and they convict him and they're like, he's an idiot.
People are watching like, that's definitely not the guy. That's the first person they're talking to.
Dick Wolf. And then Wolf. And then they spend the rest of the hour like previewing some new horseshit show they're coming out with. You know what I mean? Law and Order Fish Stomping Unit.
This is Law and Order. We're going to give you 12 episodes this hour.
That's it, yeah.
They're all like this.
We're going to cram. They're just quickies. There's a dead guy, and they go, yeah, he's dead, and then they convict him very quickly. And we don't even give you the details. Just he's dead. There's no need. You don't have to get that deep into it. So at the trial, before the trial, Sean changes his plea to guilty due to mental defect to just plain old not guilty. Yeah. Just going to go fucking not guilty on it. Because crazy is a very narrow thing to prove. Yeah. There's another way you can go about it with not guilty, where you could try to... You could try to basically say that you were so fucked up that you're not guilty because you couldn't appreciate the consequences of your actions. But you're not crazy. It's basically nowadays temporary insanity, which doesn't exist anymore. Okay. As we used to always hear, like, as a thing, temporary insanity as a defense.
That.
Yeah, people used to, because that's what people used to get away with shit on all the time back in the day, is temporary. They went nuts, obviously. For a second. He caught his wife in bed with another man. Of course he shot him in the head and they put him in an institution for 2 years and he'd be fine.
Ridiculous.
Like, it's fucking crazy. So there's another witness here that is damning, worse than D. Himes for him. Waking a woman up saying, I killed our roommate, come let me show it to you, and then pointing him out, that's bad enough as it is, and then saying I hit him under the floorboard or in the crawl space. This is worse. This is a guy who saw the entire night with this idiot.
Oh boy.
So his name is David Whitaker Fawcett is his name. Okay? Another David. Well, the other one was Dennis David.
Oh,
or David Dennison.
We changed it to David Dennison.
David Dennison. So this is David Whitaker Fawcett.
Okay.
So can I just call him Whitaker, please? For the love of Christ, so I don't have to hyphenate this asshole the whole time. So David Whitaker Fawcett said, he's got a lot of testimony. Yeah. So Whitaker, we'll just take that right away. He's the witness. He's the first witness and the most important witness. He's everything to them. He testifies that he and Sean Osborne had been drinking what he classifies as very heavily throughout the evening and early morning hours of the night. So, I mean, they were just pounding it. It comes out later that Sean got off work and was drinking like in the car on the way home already. So he started the moment his time card clanked down on his time card, he had a beer in his fucking hand, and then he proceeds from there, basically. And
clank and were the same.
That's it. Clank All right. And it's Miller time, and he's fucking in the car driving.
Okay.
So he said they drank all the way through the night. Whitaker testifies that as they drove to the trailer home after the bars closed, this was when Sean became agitated and started just talking shit the whole ride home. Apparently, he wouldn't shut the fuck up about people who owed him money, including Bloom, who was the most egregious of these cocksuckers, because he owed him $20. How much money does he have out on the street? Where $20 is a lot. Like, is he just going home the whole time? And then there's fucking Bob. He owes me $8.
Neil owes me $6.
He owes me $6. I paid for this motherfucker's Grand Slam breakfast fucking 3 days ago. He ain't paid me back yet. I got upwards of $72 out on the street right now, and ain't nobody respect me enough to pay me the fuck back. This is bullshit. God damn it.
Pray tell, when somebody gonna pay me back?
Pray tell, when you gonna pay me back? I need to kill every last motherfucker I see. So he's freaking out. He comes around to Bloom, and that's the one he's really focusing his rage on. A, because they live in the same place, and B, $20 was above and beyond. Dude, it's $20. I just want to say, first of all, on a sidetrack, it's $20. Fucking relax. Relax.
Chill, bro.
Make this, I have a thing, make this your fuck it moment. Just say fuck it. It's cool. Just fuck it. Like, if everyone just said fuck it once in a while, you know, and this is the most like hippie whatever the fuck I'll get. I'm pretty angry. So I'm not one who's like, hey man, just hug your brother and
just
like
be cool.
Just cool. But I'm saying there's about 30 opportunities everybody has every day to where you could just be like, fuck it, go ahead. And you don't. And that's fine because you got to live your life. No, that's fine. You had to live your life. But if everybody one time out of those 30 just went, fuck it, go. Imagine there's like 200 million adults in America. That's 200 million fuck it's a day. Things would be moving so much smoother. People would be less dicks. Everyone would be like Minnesota. Like we went to Minnesota. And if you haven't ever been to Minnesota, first of all, it's a freezing flat fucking tundra, number one. But the people are so fucking nice.
Unbelievable.
And it's not phony. That Minnesota nice shit that they say. It's not like down south, who you guys are really nice too, but you don't fucking mean that shit at all. You're second week you walk away, you're like, now this motherfucker, you don't mean a word of that shit, which is fine. We don't either, but we're not pretending. The Minnesota people honestly, truly fucking care.
They do.
And they're nice, and it's really weird. And I bet they say fuck it a lot and just let somebody in. That's the thing.
I got my celebratory lap dance from my divorce being final in Minnesota. Most loving, gentle, kind lap dance I've ever had.
That's what I'm saying. That's what happens.
Nothing being slammed into me.
No, it's not aggressive.
No,
and
it was
I'm
just
sure
so kind.
It's guys being polite to the strippers there. If you like brushed against her boob by accident, you'd be like, oh, hey, sorry about that.
Listen,
hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do. I wasn't. You sounded Irish there. You're Irish Minnesotan. Didn't mean to cop a feel there. Top of the morning to you. I'll be having me Irish spring and going away now. You just seen me Lucky Charms. You went really over the top there. Would you like a drink glass? Oh, God, Jesus Christ.
Fucking hell.
I'm telling you, man. But like little fucking things, it's $20. And that's not a lot of money.
No.
It's just $20. You could just fucking, I mean, right then, if you're whatever broke, $20 is a lot. But in like a couple days, I wish it would have been gone anyway. And you would have bought like, 2 value meals from Burger King and it's over. Like, it's $20.
Here's another thing.
It's not like, that was my down payment. Like, on what?
You live with the guy. Take whatever you owe in rent, take $20 out of it, and then tell your roommates, hey, go find that motherfucker.
Or figure something else out. You live with the guy. You fucking live with him. God, let me hold that as collateral. I don't know. Work on it. Don't say, I'm so fucking mad. But he is so mad, and he's so mad that he complains the entire way home.
After drinking all night.
No, there is no fuck it doctrine here. That's my doctrine, is the fuck it doctrine. If I ever run for anything, it's the James Pietragallo fuck it doctrine. Everyone say fuck it once in a while. Just try it for a day. I bet you everything's fucking better. So he does not have a fuck it doctor, and he's pissed off, and he's even more angry once they get back to the trailer. He says that Osborne just continues to be angry. He's agitated. He's stomping around. He's just circling around the living room talking about fucking $20 he owes me. Think, who the fuck do you think I am? And take my $20, not give it back to me. And this other guy, this poor Whitaker's like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, boy.
Because you know that guy. It's like, I'm going to let him pop off a little in the car. Sure, he's drunk and he's venting. By the way, they drank heavily all night, drove home, these two.
Yeah, what is that?
That's the other thing, too.
All night drinking and driving home.
Just driving home. Then again, it is like Wyoming, so unless they are going to hit a bison, there's no other cars on the road. And you could hit a mountain. You could go off the road, and it's like, it's still fine unless you hit a mountain. Not that we're condoning drinking and driving in Wyoming, but if you're going to drink and drive anywhere,
do it in Wyoming.
Make it Wyoming, probably. I don't fucking know. There's nothing to hit. No cars to hit out there. You won't kill anyone else. We'll put it that way. You might kill yourself.
It's possible.
But no one else will be involved. Nope. And if you want to kill yourself, that's your prerogative.
That is your business.
It's the only way you can do it driving would be in Wyoming, though. So don't drive drunk. Anyway.
Also, don't kill yourself.
Also, don't kill yourself. We don't condone that. No. I should have put that in there. Left that out. Probably not the best thing to do.
I've tried. Just stop.
Yeah, it's not great. So Whitaker here, he says just this guy's continuing to be angry, which is like, Jesus Christ, we got here. He's still going to be a dick about it.
Right.
But Whitaker's not like, all right, well, I'm going to head home now. Yeah. Have a good one. See ya. Like I would have been like, yeah, I'm going to actually go. I'm getting tired, so you go on inside. I'm sick of hearing you bitch for 20 minutes.
Your roommates are asleep, and you're bitching. I'm done with this place.
So, yeah, he said that he came in. He cracked a beer open first, Osborne did, and then walked around pissed off drinking a beer, which they just drank to a shitload before, and did some other stuff, too, that we'll talk about.
By my count right now, two guys need a fucking doctrine. Like,
they need a fucking...
Fuck this.
Fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah.
And, he's got to fuck it. He's fucking it to Sean, where he's like, man, fuck it. I'm going to let him run his mouth and vent. You know what I mean? Which is fine. That's a good thing to do. But then Sean needs to be like, fuck it, it's $20.
Right.
And then that's how you pass on a fuck it.
There you go.
And then everybody's happy. If there's only one fuck it, then it's not going to work. We need 200 million fuck it's a day for this to work. It's a system that works on its own thing. It's like Bitcoin. Everyone's got to do it, or else obviously it's not going to work.
Everyone's going to fall in line.
Or whatever the fuck the new stupid thing that steals your money is. I don't fucking know.
Gold selling, I don't know.
Fucking, well, gold is fine.
Yeah,
you can hold gold. If you buy gold, they send you gold, and you can put it in a safe deposit box, and you have gold in there. Like, that's a thing, at least, that people buy.
Jose Canseco was trying to create his own currency.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I know. Jesus Christ.
Probably because he can't pay his house payment.
Yeah, because he got booted out of his house, so... That's fucking sad.
Fucking idiot.
That's so sad. So anyway, not Bloom. Bloom is in the room. He's in the room sleeping, by the way, at this time. And also, Sean Osborne had been taking Adderall at the bar, too.
Oh, God.
So he's drinking and taking Adderall. He's doing like that 80s, gonna keep it, drink a little, do a little upper to keep myself balanced out and stay awake and hopefully be able to still fuck somebody at 5 a.m.
Do a little drink, do a little drug.
Yeah.
And try to fuck later.
And try to fuck tonight. Yeah, that's how it works. I feel that was the balance they had to achieve, was like, I need to be drunk enough to be able to drink all night, do enough of this upper, do enough of coke or whatever it is to counteract the booze, but not enough to keep my dick limp. That's the other thing. You needed to be able to, that's a very delicate tightrope people are walking in the 80s.
That's the shit teeter-totter.
All that with a mustache. That's a really hard thing to pull off, I think. I mean, that's tough, man. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Whiskey dick coke crank, and you're supposed to try and...
and you wake up shaky in the morning, got to trim your mustache straight.
Walk
it's
around
difficult.
With that thing?
Fuck.
With a Dabney Coleman eyebrow on your lip?
So, yeah, that's not going to work. I guess if you got a Tom Selleck push broom, then it's okay, because you can let it bush out a little bit on you. So Whitaker says at this point that Osborne, he just headed down to the bedroom where Bloom was sleeping. He cracked a beer, walked around, motherfucking son of a bitch, blah, 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 blah. And then he put the beer down and just marched down the hallway to the bedroom. So Whitaker's standing there just like looking over. Picture him looking down the hallway like, oh boy, this ought to be good. Because everybody's
Where are you going?
I bet everyone's pretty mild here. Like Sean's probably the angriest guy in a few square miles, we're going to say. So apparently Osborne then comes back. Yeah. When he went down there, he marched down the fucking hallway and said, I'm going to get my fucking money. Yeah. That's what he said. And he marched down the hallway, heard the door open, and then he sees Osborne coming back at him. Whitaker does. So Whitaker's like, okay. Apparently Sean Osborne at that point says, hey, come here, watch this. I'm going to kill this motherfucker. That's what he says. He says, come here. Watch this.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill this motherfucker, which is a strange thing. Murder usually does. People don't usually request an audience to commit a crime that could put you in jail forever.
And maybe, did Whitaker go with him?
And Whitaker, that's the other thing. Whitaker, one too many fuck it's.
Yeah.
Whitaker went, fuck it. He just, fuck it is like the normal person's, all right. Yeah. That's what it is. But these all all right. He's just, all right. He goes, fuck it.
So and he heads on back. But in Whitaker's defense, I'm going to kill this guy.
I'm going to kill this guy. I'm going to fight him.
12 angry men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's probably thinking there's going to be a fight.
Right.
And Sean seems like a guy who pops off at the mouth a lot. Like, I'm going to fucking kill that guy, blah, blah. And then when he sees him, he's like, hey, man, like, he might just be a talker. Mm-hmm. And they're probably like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Right.
So he's also probably maybe like afraid of him also. We don't know the physical prowess of Whitaker compared to Osborne. If maybe Osborne's kind of the alpha physically and Whitaker's not a guy who would be like, hey man, fuck you, and then get punched in the face.
Right.
So you never know what the dynamic is with these people. So he says, watch this. I'm going to kill that motherfucker. And Whitaker says, all right, and fuck it. And he fucking follows him down the hallway there to the bedroom. And Bloom is sleeping, to which Osborne, now he could have any attack he wants. He chooses to choke him while he's sleeping.
That's the go-to.
Starts choking him out while he's sleeping. So obviously Bloom, I take that back earlier.
Second worst way to wake up is being told there's a murder and the rent just got higher.
The first way is being attempted to be murdered, I would say, is the worst way to wake up.
Any way that you can be attempted murdered, that's the one.
Someone you owe $20 is choking the life out of you is not a good way to wake up to here. So he wakes up. Whitaker said that they struggled, Bloom and Osborne. They struggled. Osborne got him down on the ground, and he was choking him with his hands, and then he got him in like a chin lock, basically, like a sleeper hold,
a rear naked choke,
and choked him out like that, and was choking him, and poor Bloom was fucking trying to figure out what was going on, and obviously it's tough to fight that off with only one arm, so very difficult. So poor Bloom is doing this. Apparently, they struggle until Bloom loses consciousness. Once they fall onto the floor, Bloom loses consciousness. It is at that point, after he'd had him in a chokehold and all of that. By the way, when he was choking him, Whitaker testifies that Sean Osborne was choking him, quote, as hard as he could, is what it looked like to him. It looked like he was choking him as hard as he could until he stopped moving, which is rough. Then he released the chokehold once he stopped moving completely, gets up. Now, think about how much he appreciates the seriousness of this. He thinks he's killed him. Now, you'd think he would just, if he's just in a crazy state, he'd just stomp away now and go fucking, do some other crazy thing.
That's that.
Nope, he stops, checks Bloom's pulse, does Sean Osborne. So that's really alert enough to be like, let me check your pulse, determine, oh no, he's still alive. Thought he was dead, choked him pretty good, and didn't even, he knew, like, oh, you could choke someone and they might not be dead. So he's pretty fucking with it. Checks him, says, okay, yeah, he's still alive. I better get that knife. Gets the knife, then slits his throat, not once, but twice.
Oh, boy.
Once one way, back like Ulysses Grant's signature, just a big X. That's terrible. But that's what he does. He does a big fucking back and forth across his neck and then says, I better stab him a bunch of times too. And then just stabs him in the neck about 5-6 times is what Whitaker counted. The autopsy said at least 4. So somewhere in the ballpark of 4 to 6 stabs.
All at the neck.
All in his neck after he had already slit it clean twice too. I mean, he slit it good twice and then stabbed the fuck out of him on top of that.
ISIS execution. This is
terrible.
Insane.
For $20, Jimmy.
Yeah.
They didn't think he was an infidel or they weren't trying to make a political statement. This is $20.
Jesus.
Holy shit, man. I mean, give me a fucking break. I know times are tough sometimes, but give me $20.
$20.
For fuck's sake, it's never been that. So this poor Whitaker stood there and watched this whole thing. Now, Whitaker, I would think, would be scared shitless because you'd think, fuck, I just watched this.
Right.
He just told me, watch this, motherfucker. I better act like I'm enjoying it,
right,
or I'm going to probably get stabbed in the neck 5-6 times. This seems bad.
Yeah.
The forensic pathologist testified that the chokehold that he had Bloom in broke his trachea. That's how good of a chokehold he had him in, as hard as he could.
God.
Broke Mr. Bloom's trachea here, and the stab wounds were inflicted with what he would call significant force.
Yeah.
I guess that's a technical term for them, a significant or minor or whatever the fuck.
Just bringing it in.
He was fucking stabbing.
Raining him down.
Bloom was on the ground, and he was just stabbing down.
Oh, God.
With force, he wasn't, like I said, not a it was a
like
it was a
fucking watermelon.
Yeah, like you were you're using gravity as your friend, basically, to do that. And so then Whitaker Fawcett testifies that after he kills Gerald, Sean Osborne goes to the kitchen sink and washes his hands off as best he could and kind of cleans the knife off, gets all the cleaning supplies out, sees what works, washes his hands off, but doesn't bother with his clothes and doesn't bother with the blood covering his arms. Yeah. And his blood does not come off easy, as we discussed. It's a very difficult, it sticks, and if it's on your skin, you got to really rub it off, especially if you've stabbed a person and basically soaked your hands in their blood. It takes a while, and he just kind of cleaned them and just kind of left them all stained in blood, basically like he was, squishing berries and got stained up. Like, fucking ridiculous, man. So then Fawcett, or Whitaker, says that after he washed himself up a little bit, Sean Osborne walked back into the bedroom again where Bloom was, and he said a couple minutes went by, and then he hears dragging, and he sees Sean Osborne pulling a sleeping bag with Bloom's body inside. So he put him in a sleeping bag, and now he's dragging him through the house now. He pulled it out the front door and over to the crawl space under the trailer home. He said he pulled aside some boards and shoved the sleeping bag with the body, with Gerald in there, and into the crawl space and replaced the boards. And he said this whole time Whitaker's just watching him do all this, like he's like, hold on, I got to do something quick, and it's this.
The trust.
He's just like, okay. And then he said he gets him under there, replaces the board. Once he puts the last board in, he kind of did he goes, there, did it.
Unbelievable.
That's what he said. Like,
snapped it in.
Got that over with. Yep. Now I'll get my $20.
Yeah. What are you going to do now, man?
What's the thing? Yeah. The mob wouldn't kill you like this, because they'd be like, well, he's not going to be able to get me my $20 now. Like, that's not.
Now you still got the VIG on the street.
Yeah, I don't understand. Now I'm out $20. What did I just do there? I could have made interest off this fucking idiot. So
asshole.
Yeah, this guy either had the worst loan sharking business in the history of the world. I loaned $6 to that guy, I don't know, or he's just a fucking moron. So he said, there, I did it. And he just walked back into the trailer and covered in blood still and everything, struggled with a body, and he just passed out on the couch. Just fell asleep on the couch.
Exhausting, that murder.
It's a lot of murder. Yeah, you need a murder nap after a while. Some people have a murder steak.
Time to time, you use murder rest.
Murder rest. Yeah. We talk about a lot too, like, and so does the news. Like, people are fascinated with what people do after a murder.
Right.
Like, what did they do? He ate dinner.
Right.
Like, people freak the fuck out.
What the fuck do you expect him to do?
But yeah, if they have the capacity to murder, did you expect them to just fall to the ground and sob in their hands and go, "I've done wrong"?
Grab the phone.
No.
Confess and talk about how much of a piece of shit they are.
That's not what people do. No. They generally fucking lost it enough to kill somebody, and then they go about their normal human business.
Because otherwise, it's fucking suspicious.
Otherwise, it's suspicious. Yeah, if you do freak out. So that's what I mean. So it's always when people, oh my God, he did that.
Can you believe it?
It's not worse.
He went to church after.
What he did before is the bad part. Yeah. What he does after is irrelevant as fuck. Once the person's dead, it's really irrelevant at that point to me what he did, and that doesn't make it better or worse for me. Like, if he did feel horrible and went to church, that wouldn't be better than if he went and ate fucking Denny's. Like, it wouldn't matter.
You know what only I'm shocked about after a murder is they go and fucking murder more. That's when I go, can you believe they did it again?
Well, because they get away with it.
Didn't horrify them enough to never do that shit again.
No, that's like, the people were. No, they wanted to do it for a long time, and it stacked up, and then finally they did it, and they were like, I can do that. Wow, I did it. Holy shit.
I do that now.
Oh, I guess I can do that now. Especially if they didn't get caught. Like, you're dead and you're buried, and they went home and they sat there, and there was no police banging their door down, and they went,
"Do you hear that? Did you hear that?
That's freedom.
That's fucking nothing.
That's freedom is what that is.
There is silence, and
I'm fine. And then they go, well, shit.
I can murder. Definitely. Yeah. I can murder.
I think I'll murder again tomorrow. Fuck it. That's pretty cool.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I feel like it emboldens people whenever they get away with anything. That's the way it is. So he says, yeah, I did it. They're there. I did it. Crashes on the couch. And so Whitaker, you would think at this point, would be like, monster's asleep, and just not even turn to the door, do like the backwards tiptoe, like cartoon exaggerated, like I'm getting out of here. Woo, boy, he sticks around.
How long?
Hangs out. Oh, just until Osborne wakes up.
What?
Let's just hang out. What is he? How much does he owe this guy? Is what I'm wondering here. He says that once he woke up, he took a nap. It wasn't out all night.
Okay.
Just a nap. It was early in the morning. Then that's when he went and told Dee, hey, look at the body. Yep. And then fucking Dee saw the body and went, well, I don't know, whatever, and went back in her room. And then after that all happened, Whitaker and Sean Osborne and 3 other friends went out to breakfast. That's nice. Well, you're hungry. It's been now, mind you. By the way, before he went to breakfast, he drank a bunch of vodka. We'll talk about exactly how much he drank all night in a second. But he drank a bunch of vodka and a couple of beers. Went out to breakfast, came back, drank a bunch more vodka.
Good God!
So he's keeping a continuous thing going on here. He wasn't even asleep long enough to sleep off his first drunk.
Right.
But the thing everybody notes is when they went out to breakfast, he didn't change his clothes. He didn't wash up. He went out to breakfast with 4 other people with his up to his elbows in blood, with his clothes covered in blood.
Holy shit.
I get that it's Wyoming and maybe he fucking hit a bison or something on the road. Or I don't know what the fuck. You'd encounter some wild animal, but you don't go to a restaurant. That's suspicious. Just covered in blood. That's how little he gave a fuck. That's how much he gave a fuck about this. Like, it wasn't that he wasn't trying to hide it. He just didn't give a fuck about it at all. It seems like he was just like, I don't know, whatever.
How did the waitress take their order and not be like, son, is that?
Yeah, all right.
Is that blood on your shirt?
Is that blood on your shirt?
No, but I'll be right back with your order. Police, I need your assistance because a man... But you're not going to believe this shit.
It's just really like, if they catch me, they catch me, like type of thing. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to turn myself in. I got to make a phone call and all that. But I mean, I'll walk around covered in blood.
I mean, look at me. They'll eventually catch me.
He's got a real "can you start my orange" approach to life. You know what I mean? I can't quite get the peel going. Like, he's, just, I'll walk around covered in blood and shit, but you're going to have to take me in. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know what the fuck this guy is thinking at all, but he's covered in blood in a goddamn restaurant. They eat. And also Whitaker notices that once they get back, they're drinking again. Remains in the blood-covered attire, still with his arms covered in blood. Now, when he was when Osborne was taken for his police interview, and he said all the things he said, that's obviously videotaped. So now at this point, they play the videotape because Sean's going to testify in his own defense. So you have to put the opposite of that on the screen. Like, you see him sitting here talking. This is him sitting here talking with his covered in blood to his arms, fucking going, well, I guess that's 10 years to life. I don't fucking know. Like, so they play the tape for him, and the jury sees him say, pretty sure that what everyone else said happened is what happened, right after a guy was a long witness saying what happened. So he just basically,
corroborated
ratified his whole thing here. And then he said, we got in a fight over $20. It went a little too far. And then they heard him say I know I'm in some deep shit. I know. I guess I better figure out a lawyer, see if it's going to be 10 years or life. So the jury gets to watch that, which is quite damning. The defense attorney has to be, imagine his just face palm on this whole fucking thing, just like shaking his head like, how the fuck did I get assigned this trial? Because he's a public defender, obviously.
Like pulling a fedora down over his ears.
Jesus Christ, no. Oh, it's the fucking worst. So this public defender for the defense here was appointed to represent Sean, obviously, because, I mean, $20 is a lot of money, and attorneys are expensive for murder trials. So his attempt here, his whole approach is to prove that Sean was so intoxicated at the time of the murder that he was unable to form the specific intent necessary to support a first-degree murder charge. He's not even going for he didn't do it, because that's impossible. That's not a hill to climb here, or to die on, or to do anything with. That's a hill to look at and go, whoa, that's a big one. I'm fucked. You're not doing that. So what he's going for is maybe I can get him second degree or manslaughter.
Okay.
And, we can say they got in a fight and he was real drunk and he didn't know what was going on and things happen and, boys will be boys in 10 years maybe. Who knows? That's what he's going for here. So he pleads not guilty, like we said before. They try to show his intoxication level here. They called witnesses to present evidence that he'd been under the influence of alcohol and Adderall all night. Other people he was hanging out with, people who gave him the drugs, people who watched him take the pills, people who were drinking with him. Also, they bring into the thing that he has a history of being a very heavy drinker and has blackouts, and they're bringing all this in. Like, he's a huge alcoholic that's always half blacked out, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, which seems like a guy who should be, I don't know, in jail if he's killing people in that state. If he goes home and just passes out on his couch like that, more power to you.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, ruin your liver. I don't give a fuck. Right. But if you're killing people, it's another story. Yeah. So they present evidence that he began drinking on his way home from work the evening before and continued to drink heavily throughout the night into the early morning. They present evidence, okay, let's keep count here, that he drank numerous beers, 2 pints of vodka, and numerous shots of whiskey. And we'll get into the specifics of it. Also presents evidence that he took Adderall, which is an amphetamine, if you don't know, unless you're a hyperactive teenager. Unless you're a hyperactive 11-year-old, it's a fucking stimulant here.
It's a focus thing for people that are studying in college.
Yes, that's also that, for that. Also, witnesses who were with Sean on the night of the killing testified that he was fucking over the rainbow drunk, which there's no doubting that at all. Sean testifies in his own defense.
Right.
Because, what do you got to lose at this point, honestly? What are you doing? Just fucking go out there. What can you say that's worse than what you've already said?
Get out there and say you didn't do it.
Fuck. So he testifies. He tells the jury that he had 3 beers on his way home from work at 8 p.m. Gets off of work, 3 beers in the car ride on the way home.
Got it.
Which is excessive, I feel
fast.
like. I need to get to a certain level of alcohol or I don't feel too good. I feel like that's where he is. Like, starting to get shaky. I better pound these 3 beers.
That was a long shift.
Yeah, that's 8 o'clock. Then he drank a pint of vodka and another beer and a half at his girlfriend's house. This man has a fucking girlfriend, by the way. He sleeps on somebody's trailer floor and is mad about $20 and drinks 3 beers in the car on the way home, and some woman is willing to fucking have regular sex with him.
To get a pint of vodka and a beer and a half.
Jesus Christ. Fuck. So now he is 4.5 beers and a pint of vodka in, and it's like 9:30.
That's the end of my day.
And he got off work at 8 o'clock. Yeah, you're like, okay,
I am sleepy.
I'm feeling a little sleepy now. Like, you'd be out fucking cold, man.
Wake me on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's been a lot. This is tailgating for him. This is just pre-gaming.
Sausage and peppers.
Yeah, that's it. He's getting ready to go.
He's got a nice dip in a crock pot.
A real nice dip that he made. Very cheesy. He's fondue it. So he testifies here that that he and his friends went to bars where he drank beer and shots of whiskey for the next 4 hours over a consistent basis, to the point where he can't even put a finger on how many shots of beer or how many shots and how many beers he had.
Oh, I want to throw up.
Yeah, say 5 to 10 whiskeys and 5 to 10 beers.
Too much.
In addition to 4.5 beers and a pint of vodka, which is a shitload of vodka to drink to the head, I think.
How could he?
That's too much vodka.
How did he have the means and the body motor skills to be able to slam a knife into anybody?
And no wonder you got to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
If you're a real alcoholic, you function like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. So
forget understanding it. How could you
even physically do it? Yeah, you think he would miss with the knife. And you'd think if someone's that drunk, even if you're asleep when they start attacking you, you could probably fight them off because they're so fucking sloppy. But he was actually like in control of his body enough to, have the dexterity to fucking to hand-eye coordination to stab somebody in the neck.
Right.
And sign Grant's signature.
One knife and you're seeing double.
That's what I mean. I got 2 knives, one for each of you. So that's a lot. We got a lot of tombstones. What's a western town? Yeah. It's not like it's Connecticut, or fucking Massachusetts. I don't think so. No thanks. So he also testifies that in addition to all this, he took a few Adderall, as the way he put a few Adderall on top of this. So he's got quite the fucking night of quite the chemistry experiment going on inside of his body. He testifies at that point he probably drank 5 to 8 rounds of beer and shots at the first bar. That's his estimate, but he doesn't really know. 5 to 8 rounds of beer and shots at the first bar. So that's, what we talked about before.
That is a lot.
Then they left for a second bar at 1 a.m. This is where, like we said, he's like 10 beers, a pint of vodka, and 5 to 8 shots into this night and a bunch of Adderall. And they go to a second bar where apparently he said he was having a hard time at the second bar.
Well, you've got 30 drinks in you, man.
That's the problem. He said he was having a hard time managing himself and keeping his shit together and, not being the guy who's like falling off the stool and, smashing his head on the bar and shit, like just trying to sit there and maintain. And he said he was having a hard time. He said at that point he testified that he probably continued drinking beer and shots of whiskey because that's just what they were doing, but he's not sure because he was not very coherent by then, and he doesn't really remember a lot from it. He just knows they were doing that, so he was probably doing shots and whiskey. So God knows. He says at that point, they at the bar, he purchased another pint of vodka. Oh. So not enough. Not enough. So he purchases another pint of vodka, and then before leaving the second bar and then they go home, and he remembers opening a beer when he arrived back at the trailer.
Yeah.
So add that up to this guy's evening.
That is a lot.
That is way too much booze that he's drank tonight. So
and I see why he's so angry right now on his way back. He's like, that's
all my money.
$300 worth of booze.
Yeah,
I'm going to need at least $20 back.
Even in the diviest bar, I got to get my $72 back off the street. These motherfuckers are going to start paying.
They hosed me for $300 tonight.
Unreal.
And I am barely drunk.
I can't even feel it. I'll be honest with you. I think it might have been fake.
I can't feel anything.
So further evidence, obviously, they showed the jury that after killing Gerald Bloom, that he disposed of the body and then passed out on the couch. Next morning, drank another pint of beer before going to breakfast and then having more vodka and more beer when he returned to the trailer.
Wow.
So this guy is fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
He's an alcoholic to the he's the type of if he just doesn't drink, he'll die. He'll just die.
My uncle, I watched him drink 30 beers a night, and it is disturbing to be able to see somebody put that inside their body.
Imagine this.
Yeah. And that was 30 beers. This guy's drinking 30 drinks
whiskey and pints of vodka.
Mixing so much.
Pints of vodka are like his segue, too. Yeah. Like, it's just like his, fucking sorbet.
Yeah, it's like his catchphrase. Hamburger.
Vodka, my sorbet. Yeah. Hamburger. So, he said that the defense presented evidence that he passed out on the couch until police arrived, which they said, and then the police officers who interviewed him testified that he smelled of alcohol, first of all.
I'm sure he did.
Second, he opened the door, they were like, whoa, you smell that? Holy shit. It smells like my uncle. And bad memories for this poor officer.
It's the worst smell.
So he said he smelled that, and immediately they were like, he reeks of alcohol, he's covered in blood. This should be eventful.
Right.
So they do that. They also said that he acted very carefree because he was like, sure, come on in.
Yeah.
And they said during the interview even, he was just like, well, I guess I need a lawyer because I'm fucked, right? Yeah, 10 years life. I don't know. I got to get a lawyer. And went too far. What are you going to do?
Right.
Shit happens. They said they thought because he was drinking.
Yeah,
so
he's still drunk.
He's a little loose. Yeah, he's a little loosey-goosey there, having a good time. So unreal, man. I guess they said immediately after he killed Bloom, they present the evidence, obviously, that he washed the blood off his hands and his knife, put the body in a sleeping bag, attempted to hide it, pulled it out, which takes effort. Like, it wasn't just like he didn't just put a blanket over it.
Right.
He actually had to make a plan of I'm going to
go in the closet.
Yeah, and it's an A to B to C. It's not an I'm so fucked up I don't know what I'm doing. It's I need to get that sleeping bag, put him inside of it, then take him outside into this. It's you need cognitive.
It's a lot of forethought.
Yeah, it's forethought. Yeah. It's clearly forethought.
It's not good forethought.
No,
it's
but
definitely
some. It's definitely premeditation or post-meditation, however you want to put it. So I guess they said when that happened, he also attempted to conceal it by covering it with boards, which is also that's one of the things they say, like that's the first thing they say to see if you're competent is, well, did you try to get away with it?
Right.
Because if you tried to get away with it, then you probably knew what you were doing was wrong. And that's just an obvious one. There's obviously a million other ways, but that's there. They say, though, the worst of it all is that they said he kept drinking alcohol and he was lucid and responsive in his interactions with the cops, admitting it to the cops and being very aware of that it was a serious thing because he knew the years involved and all that. So it feels like he knew exactly what he was doing, got shit-faced, too drunk, and acted out.
Yes.
Which, sorry, fuck you at that point. Like, whatever. No one... Okay, here's the only time that's an acceptable excuse for murder. I'll give you one example here. You're so drunk that you didn't know what was going on, you killed a guy. Because the other person's you took that alcohol into your body. Right. The only way is if that person tackled you, held you down, and put the alcohol up your asshole to the point where you were so drunk that you didn't know what happened. Then you killed the person who forcibly alcohol raped you. That would be okay. I feel like that's an excuse.
Forcibly asked beer bonged you.
Forcibly booze raped you. That's what I'm talking about right there. That I think would be an acceptable murder. Outside of that, you can't use this as a fucking excuse.
You hear us, frat boys?
Yeah, absolutely. Jesus Christ. So the defense said that he was unable to formulate the intent to kill a human being purposely with premeditated malice, and it should not find him guilty of first-degree murder. So the district court actually instructs the jury to the elements also of second-degree murder and manslaughter. Okay. He's in a spot where they're thinking, you get one real drunk on that fucking jury.
Yeah.
And it's only first degree or nothing. This guy might walk. And that drunk might go, well, I fucking blacked out before. Yeah. What if I did such shit? I don't want to be first degree murder for blacking out.
And he's going to creep all those women in that room out and be like, this man has done just second degree. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. So they give him options to be able to say, be able to give this guy an excuse here. The court instructs the jury that if they do find Shane Osborne not guilty of first degree murder, it must decide whether he's guilty of second degree or manslaughter. Or innocent. Yeah. But, that's probably not the best. That's probably not going to happen. He didn't do it until it's a conspiracy. So the jury, after 4 hours of deliberation, that's a lot. Well, there's, they got to go through the paperwork and everything. Yeah. 4 hours, they came back with a guilty verdict on first degree murder. Oh. So must not have been a drinking crowd. So first degree murder there.
It's a Sunday night.
It's a Sunday night. They said he stood emotionless while the verdict was read because he was coming down, I'm sure.
Yeah, sobering up real fast.
Yeah, they ordered a pre-sentence investigation, as they always do, to, mitigating factors, all that shit, after which they'll do sentencing. They revoked his bond, even though he wasn't out, and he's remanded back to the custody of the Sheridan County Detention Center, where he will be awaiting sentencing there. Now, it's at this point where it gets shuffled up a little bit. A new attorney jumps into the fold. Yeah. This is pre-sentencing. A new attorney jumps in saying that he should get a new trial here, saying that his other attorney was a dipshit, which he was, and we'll get to that, complete dipshit. But he's saying that he's his new attorney, and the old public defender has an order to he's allowed to withdraw. Yeah. So they do that. New attorney subsequently files a motion saying that Sean Osborne was entitled to a new trial on the basis of newly discovered evidence and ineffective assistance of counsel. Now, the new evidence is a guy named, this sounds made up, okay? This sounds like a Will Ferrell character, but it's not, I promise. It is Dr. Craig W. Beaver, which 100% sounds like a Will Ferrell character.
The W stands for wet.
It stands for wet. Curly guy with like 80s glasses, a lot of head motion. Yeah, you guys can't see what I just did that made Jimmy laugh.
A lot of rooster,
like a rooster, kind of did one of those on him. Like,
W stands for wet.
That's right. Dr. Craig W. Beaver, nice to meet you.
Oh, Christ.
Man, Beaver Dubs over here. He doesn't sound like an idiot when you hear his title at all. He's a forensic neuropsychologist, which that's not my old job at all. forensic neuropsychologist.
That's interesting.
Really, he knows that's shit about the brain that he knows and how it affects your behavior,
and
I would assume.
How it makes you murder.
Yes. They retained him after the verdict, and they had him examine Sean Osborne. And old Dr. W. Beaver here, he concludes that it was more probable than not that Sean was in a substance abuse delirium at the time of the killing, leaving him incapable of forming the specific intent necessary for first-degree murder.
Is that a thing?
Well, it's sort of a thing, but we'll find out. Okay. Is that a thing? This new attorney argues that the trial counsel was ineffective in failing to obtain an expert to explain what substance abuse delirium is and how it impacted Sean Osborne's cognitive ability to premeditate or form the intent to kill.
Okay.
Now, that actually is kind of, he basically went up in front of a jury, and we'll talk about it in a second, and said, like, he got real drunk. Y'all been drunk, right? Well, fucking drunk like that. You didn't know what he was doing, rather than have a man who with a title like a neuroscientist, as when they got done laughing at his name, you tell them the title and they stop laughing, and then they go, oh, well, he might know what the fuck he's talking about. So not saying that would have got him off or whatever, but I think you want your attorney to at least try. The district court, we'll find out why he didn't do it in a second. The district court had an evidentiary hearing, and the new counsel presented testimony from Dr. Beaver and from the old trial counsel. After the hearing, the district court denied a new trial motion. They concluded any deficient performance by trial counsel did not sufficiently prejudice the defense, warranting a new trial. Okay, so they have to go to sentencing now, and then we'll talk about an appeal.
Dr. Beaver should have been an OBGYN.
He really should have been.
He could have had a card that said Dr. Beaver, Beaver Doctor.
Dr. Beaver, Beaver Doctor. I don't think any ladies are going to the Beaver Doctor. Dr. Beaver with a picture of him on it. Yeah. He'd have to have a photo on there, like, hey, winking.
That would be my favorite doctor.
A winking photo. Very unsuccessful man. Just not good at his job. So that's awesome. So in sentencing, they bring him in, and the judge has some options of what to do, and he chooses one. He says, you, sir, may certainly fuck off. The court sentences him to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Oh, shit.
So he got not 10 years, basically what that's
a lot more than 10.
As many as you can get is what he got
that's all
there.
Of them.
That's till you die.
You got all the years,
You got all the years. Hey, it's a royal flush of years. Look at you. Fucking 2 pair. Good job. Wow.
Remember when you wanted $20? We gave you way more years.
We gave you, I don't know. How long you think you're going to live? You pick. How healthy are you? What's your diet like?
At 19 cents an hour, you're going to earn $20.
You will earn that 20 eventually. It's going to take a while. So he appeals, obviously. Appeals to the Wyoming Supreme Court. All the way up, which, by the way, in case you don't know, the Wyoming Supreme Court is a buffalo, a bison, and a one-armed cowboy. So it's a 3 entity panel.
And to get the Supreme title on it, they also give the one-armed cowboy is holding a Taco Supreme.
Yeah, he's got a taco, but he has to put it down sometimes, actually, because this is an odd thing, but the bison is actually the head of the committee, but he needs the cowboy to bang the gavel with his one arm because he can't wrap his hoof around it. So people think the one-armed cowboy is in charge, but it's actually the bison who's calling things to action. It's very weird up there. It's Wyoming. It's a little different, you know. So he's asserting, he's asserting ineffective assistance of counsel due to the counsel's failure to, we told you. So anyway, his new lawyer tells the justices, Justice Bison, Justice Buffalo, and Justice Hopalong there, that he assumed they had each experienced being drunk. This is what he says. But I doubt any of you has the experience of drinking that much. Okay, he says. He tells them because he's trying to get into what he was drinking. He also argues that it was insufficient for the old attorney to merely tell the jury that he'd been drinking and taking drugs. He should have heard the expert testimony that the alcohol and amphetamines could have combined to put Osborne into a state of, quote, substance-induced delirium that would make it impossible for him to form any sort of intent of any kind. Okay. He said that this is amazing, the old attorney gave a statement after the trial that the reason he did not retain an expert was, this is fucking amazing, was in part because, quote, he didn't realize he could do that.
I didn't know I could.
I didn't know I could do that. He literally said, and then he went on as they said, pardon me, fuckwad? Somebody slapped him. And he said, I didn't realize that I could obtain the services of an expert through the public defender's office.
Well, what the fuck else would
Don't
you
you fucking work there?
Right.
Ask somebody.
Right.
Don't you have a boss to go, hey, I got this case. It's murder and all. Right. Is there like an expert thing? Is there like a pool we can go to pick out an expert? Like what didn't even fucking ask. He just went, well, I didn't think I could do that. I don't know. And then I don't know what. I don't even know what to say about that. You didn't know you could do.
That's like saying I didn't cop a plea because I didn't know.
I didn't know that was
try.
Like what? You need to ask somebody. This is a fucking murder trial. Wow. Then after that, they go, well, that's a ridiculous reason. He goes, well, even if I could have gotten one, I didn't. I don't think I would have anyway, because he said that he didn't want the trial to become a battle of the experts. To which Osborne's new attorney goes, some might call that a trial. That's what a trial is. You get your people, I get my people, right. And then a jury decides who they fucking believe. That's a trial. That's how we do it. Hey, it's a battle of that's what lawyers are, legal experts, and it's a battle of them, dick fuck. So
I don't think I've ever wanted to watch anything that wasn't a battle of the experts.
What the fuck is that? No.
Battle of the experts is the best way to watch anything.
I want to see a professional fighter fight just a guy who's never been in a fight in his life and works at the bank. That's because, I don't want to see a battle of the experts.
Ridiculous.
So he didn't know that he could do it, and then he didn't want it to be a battle of the experts. So this guy is the worst attorney I've ever heard in my life. Truly. He's like my cousin Vinny's first attorney before they brought Vinny in, the one that was stuttering and didn't know he couldn't do shit. So this is unbelievable. So the attorney for the Wyoming Attorney General's office, he argues that Osborne's first attorney did, quote, an adequate job.
It's fine,
and that Osborne's convictions should stay. He was literally like, his dad, he was fine. It's fine. He's good. He's fucking stand. Let it stand.
I was considering his ruling, so I went over some notes for his trial. And then I realized what he was convicted of doing, and I was like, fuck it.
Fuck it. Okay, that was my fucking moment. That was my fucking moment for the day. It's like, fuck it. I could get involved, but fuck it. I'm not going to ruin a guy's life. The lawyer, I mean.
Amazing.
So then he also said, the Attorney General's office said that the old lawyer was making a decision that he would rather make the arguments himself than rely on some expert, right. Which you never want to rely on some guy who knows what he's talking about to tell someone something.
There's a whole lot of fuck it going on.
Jesus, that's what I mean. Wyoming is the fuck it state. Jesus, you got one arm? Fuck it. Wow.
Get on this bull.
He also said that the Attorney General said that then you don't even need an expert because most people in Wyoming are already familiar what alcohol does to the brain on a neuropsychological level. They're very. He recounted the strength of the case, which is a good thing to do. Yeah. And one of the justices said, quote, "It seems to me that all that good evidence that the state has means the defense should have brought an expert in to contradict it."
Right.
And we'll talk about this here. This is, in the arguments, the Attorney General responds by saying that that old attorney made all the necessary arguments that the expert would have made, and quote, "It would have been a different case if the defense didn't even raise the voluntary intoxication defense." Yeah. He goes, he raised it. He just did a shit job of presenting it based on his own tactical decisions, which isn't ineffective. It's just you got a public defender, asshole, and that's what you get when you get a public defender.
Somebody who's
sometimes
not an expert.
Yeah, somebody who's new at this, or isn't being hired, whatever, for whatever reason, or they're just getting their fucking feet wet. Who knows? They didn't know they could do that. He couldn't have been doing this that long if he didn't know he could do that. Like, what the fuck? There's coffee here. I can just take it.
I can have it.
I can just pour a cup and it's
Cream
fine.
Or two.
Oh wait, but if it's empty, I got to do it. Okay, I'll refill. Okay. So the majority opinion here, they end up affirming the whole thing here and saying that tough shit. The majority opinion is written saying that the trial counsel's performance did not sufficiently prejudice Osborne's defense to warrant a new trial. That's the basic deal here. They said the evidence against Mr. Osborne was overwhelming. Even with such expert testimony, we conclude the probability in this case is that the jury would convict Mr. Osborne of first-degree murder, which that's I don't know. So there's another Justice Voigt here that has he has a different opinion. he votes with them, but for another reason. He doesn't vote. It's a legal thing. He said, I didn't do it because of this. I did it because of this. And he says, I write separately only to give voice to a concern we should all have with it's a Strickland standard. It's called. It's a legal term here, cited in the majority, a standard that we have followed for years. The problem is that while it's often relatively easy to prove defense counsel's deficient performance, it's practically impossible to prove prejudice because it's practically impossible to prove that the outcome would have been different had the jury been allowed to hear certain evidence. It's like saying in a football game, if they would have got that first down, then they would have won. It's like, well, you don't know if the guy would have thrown an interception two balls later.
Things to do.
Who the fuck knows?
They're not in the end zone.
That's what I mean. It's very hard to predict what this would have happened than that. So he says about this here, he says, quote, in finding lack of prejudice, the majority states this that the evidence of guilt was overwhelming. And then he gets to this here at the end. I got to read here. He says, quote, the point I wish to make is that where defense counsel's performance has been shown to be so ineffective as to deprive the defendant of that counsel assured him by the Sixth Amendment, we cannot rely upon the adversarial process as having produced a just trial. Nevertheless, we continue to require the appellant to prove the impossible, that the results would have been different had there been some that there should be some line of egregiousness that when it's crossed, basically he says after that there should be some line of egregiousness that when it's crossed, the presumption becomes one of ineffectiveness. He voted with the majority, but only based on that's the way the law is written. But he said it shouldn't fucking be written that way, which makes sense. If your lawyer's such a fuck up that, but you can't like here, the lawyers are terrible, but he can't prove that one thing would have set him free. And that's the standard of the law. Whereas he's saying, can we just prove that, let's say a lawyer gets like it's like your license. Once you lose a certain amount of points, like he's made 5 fuck ups. That means he's ineffective now and you get a new trial because your lawyer's a fucking idiot. Like there has to be that. Like maybe
that's a good point.
It's a great point.
That's a great way to write it too.
The guy was really good that wrote this Justice Voigt.
Points, whatever.
Yeah, it's a majority opinion, but it's like he had to write separately than the main one just because he's got like a dissenting view in the majority opinion.
He agrees with what they're saying, but
for different reasons, and saying, by the way, the law should be different because this is fucking stupid here. So affirmed. Fuck off, Sean Osborne. He stays in jail. Gerald Bloom stays dead, unfortunately for him. D. Himes and David Dennison now have to pay all of the rent.
Their rent
now they're
really
going.
Just blew up.
They just went 50-50.
Yeah,
they're like, we were 25% each fucking 3 days ago. Now we're 50-50. This is bullshit. What the fuck, man? So that's how that goes, and that is Sheridan, Wyoming.
Wow.
And that is an interesting case of a complete fucking idiot who just comes to the door. Hi, y'all. Covered in blood. What the hell's wrong?
What if when the police were searching him and they were like checking his back pockets and they were like, and a $20 bill, and he was like,
can you imagine?
And he was like, that sumbitch paid me.
Can you
yesterday?
Not only that, he's like shit, or even worse if like he was exhausted and he went and laid down and then he went to get another beer and he opens up the beer and he sees under the magnet there's something and he looks and it's a note folded in half, $20 falls out, and it's like the sweetest note ever, and it's like, dear Sean, I really appreciate you lending me that $20 in my time of need. Things were very difficult for me, and having a good friend like you who's willing to bail a fella out of a jam is what keeps me going from one day to the next. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that so much. And then Sean looks down and he goes, is that a 5 too? And he's like, I put 25. The 5 is for interest. I apologize for the extra 2 weeks it took, but I could not obtain work.
And then he dropped the beer and it exploded in his face.
P.S. I love you like a brother. If anything happens to me, please take care of my son. Love, Gerald.
And then he slammed the door of the fridge and he goes, hey, y'all want to go to breakfast? I got 25
I got 25. I'm good. And that is this crazy fucking story.
What the fuck?
That's exactly what happened. So what a crazy goddamn story. If you like that story, I got an idea. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah.
Go ahead and do that. You can do that multiple ways. Number one, iTunes, Apple Podcast, that purple icon.
Yeah.
Go there. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. It's just to feed that damn funky algorithm of iTunes and drive us up the charts and all that good shit.
All that dancing makes it hungry.
It does make it very hungry. Try to drive us up the charts. We love that stuff. Also, just head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your merchandise. There's leggings available. Holy shit, get your leggings. Also, get your tickets. Get your tickets to this next week's last round of live shows.
Right.
Boston on Thursday.
Yep.
It's next week, not now. Boston on Thursday, Chicago Friday, Detroit Saturday, Silver Spring, Maryland on Sunday
night.
and then we die on Monday.
Yes.
Then we come home, and then January 25th at the Neptune in Seattle, and West Palm Beach Improv in West Palm Beach, Florida. Of course, on February 21st. Find all of those. If you want to be...
shutupandgivememurder.com.
That's all there is to it. Also at shutupandgivememurder.com, you can follow some links to follow us on social media, which is at MurderSmall on Twitter, at Smalltown Murder on Instagram, at Smalltown Pod on Facebook. You can find all of that good shit there. Also, there's links to be one of our superstar, amazing, fabulous, wonderful, incredible producers that we're going to talk about in a second here. You can follow those links over to patreon.com/crimeinsports, or you can go over to PayPal to make a one-time donation using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com, which is also the best way to, like, if you have a case, like a lot of you do, I have this case and whatever, that's where you send it. crimeinsports@gmail.com, and we keep track of all of them there. And next week, we are actually doing a case that's from a listener, which is pretty cool. They just sent it to us in the last couple weeks.
I can't wait.
And it's from a listener, and it's a pretty crazy case, and we got to do it. So we appreciate it. That's what I mean. We've done a couple stories that we've been sent, so keep them coming, man. You never know. Thank you so much for all that. But right now, Jimmy, I would like you to hit me with this list like I owe you $20. Hit me with it right now, Jimmy.
This week's executive producers are Law Office of Michael Stoll, Stoll, Corey Herman, Ann Wright, Jennifer Sapienza, Amy Spicer, Stephen Mace, that's Doug Mace over there in Maryland.
Thank you, Doug.
Tammy Zimmerman, Amanda with no last name, Crystal Gennaro, who just got a promotion. Congratulations.
Congrats, Crystal. Thank you.
Aubrey Passmore, Candace Kennedy, who is
we love
so
Candace.
nice. She sends so many great
Thanks,
things
Candace.
to us.
You're really sweet to
You're
us.
really nice. Julie Hawkins, and then Chrissy-Ann Castaldi, of course. We'll see you in Boston, Chrissy.
Definitely, always.
Leanne Edwards. These are the our other producers this week.
Our wonderful producers.
Yes. Leanne Edwards, Sylvie Milchich, Bill Szynski, Brendan Healy, Sid and
By the way, I have to tell everybody very quickly, some of those people gave us more money than this man murdered for.
That's true.
That's amazing. They just gave it to a podcast, so imagine that. What's your number to kill for, Jimmy?
That's so nice.
That's
to
so
kill,
nice.
it's a lot more.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sid and Meg Early, Talina Jensen, Jared Dobbs, that's what that is, Jennifer Stevens, Jesse Hartman, Laura Mitchich. Didn't I just? Oh, that's Milchich. So there's Mitchiches and Milchiches.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Joshua Jacobs, Gary Howard, Ashley Vietri, Aubrey Passmore. I said that already. She donated twice. Thank you, Aubrey.
Thank you, Aubrey.
Grace Brunias, Mike or Mike? Is it M-A-A-I-K? Is that Mike?
Maybe it's
Mike Vlemenek.
Well,
or it's probably a woman.
You know
bet
what?
It's Mikey.
Thank you.
Or Makey.
Mikey.
You're fantastic.
I Makey the Mikey. I appreciate you.
Kristen Buford, Under the Sea Fabrics, who came to the Philly
nice
show.
to meet you. That was cool to meet you in Philly. Thank you.
Matthew Went, Stephen Peterson, Mariah Menhier, Sphincter Golf, which I imagine is a joke.
Sounds like a lot of fun. That's just a disturbing fucking image.
Putting balls in sphincter holes?
I don't like that.
That sounds horrible. Brian Fields, Beta Charlton, April Rush, Dominique Gilbert, Amanda Burt, Karen Ladson, Kathleen Langbean, Janice Hill, Thesis himself from Minnesota.
That's the guy that gave us that cool setup, man. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. That is really awesome.
James
Appreciate that.
That's a
nice
dude.
One. Thanks, man.
Zach Conley, Shelley Roberts, Matt and Bree, Margaret Feinberg, Matt Dietrich. I didn't. Yvonne Abrahantes, Gonzalez, Abel Martinez, Elizabeth Delamano, Melissa Reichik, Bridget Conway in Denver. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Kathleen Pullen, Patrick Martin, Rachel Stonecipher, Christian Ubin, Ian Long, Patricia Grace, Carrie Guillaume, Raphael Gaitan, he's back. Alyssa and Barbara Rouse.
Beth.
Yeah, Alyssa and Barbara. Sorry. Kelly Sabetka, Sarah Friddle, Shalima Althus, Chelsea Grish, Kathy Kreutzer. Yes.
Yes.
Hunter Perry, Hannah Simmons, Dwight Schrute, Patrick Martin, Tyler Sheets, Gene Frost, MJ Gooding, Caitlin Stupak, yes, Clinton Grout, Rachel with no last name, I think I said that, Justin Miller, Haley Irving, Christine with no last name, Sally Matani, Leslie Myers, Kim Litfin,
there you go.
Kim,
K name, something.
Kim Hotchkiss.
There you go. Thanks, Kim.
Sylvia Soulier, Ashley Vio, Total Axe, Cody Leversey, Brendan Abels, and Kingfish Designs. And then a happy birthday to Jen Heisey, or Hees, or Heis.
Well, happy birthday.
Jen, happy birthday.
With your name. We appreciate
you
it.
Thank you guys so much for everything you do for us. It's really, it's humbling as fuck.
Thank you so much. Honestly, every bit counts, and we just appreciate the shit out of you. And we had to get a new computer this week, and that's why this episode, we wanted this episode to come out like in the morning on Friday morning.
Fucking 5 a.m.
But we have a new computer here, which is great, by the way. Yeah. But the problem is, apparently, it will make our recording software revert out of nowhere to its default settings as far as the inputs go.
Where are those at?
So we did an entire show with these beautiful, expensive, fucking top best and broadcast quality fucking microphones you could get, with them not at all picking up any of our fucking, not recording any of that, and instead recording it onto the internal microphone of the computer, which sounded like a fucked up FaceTime conversation. And there's no way to goddamn to put that out to you guys. It would have been miserable and really hard to listen to, I promise. So instead, we took our only fucking day to not do anything with this show for weeks and weeks and weeks at a time, our only day, and we said, let's destroy that also, like we did our other fucking days every day, and we'll work today too. And it's almost 7:00, and I'm supposed to get a Christmas tree, and now the place is closed, and I feel bad, and this is what we do. Jimmy's kids are waiting for him. This is what we're doing.
3 hours for me.
So when you like send us shit and say like, where's the episode and all that, like, we get that you love it, but you have to understand from our point of view, we're fucking bleeding for this shit. We're covered in fucking blood.
Did we
going out to breakfast drinking vodka for this? Do you understand?
One night this week we didn't record. That's it.
That's it. And we've had shows every night. We've either been on a plane or doing shows, or both, every other fucking day. And these shows take a lot out of us. They really do. And the research for them's a lot. We had to do an extra show this week.
The one night that we didn't work and record,
I had to research
made this show.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. Like, we haven't had any time. So sorry is what I'm getting at.
You're
that we tried ourselves. Sorry for being such a fucking liar. We did our best, and we do our best.
Yeah.
And what if people wanted to tell you that you're the best, Jimmy? You are the best. How do they do it?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And I really appreciate when you guys are mean to me or nice. I don't care which one you are.
Neither are.
One way or another, we'll verbally spar or compliment each other.
I like that.
Where can they do that with you?
You can find me at Jimmy P is Funny, or copy and paste my last name from the show description and look me up like that, because you can't spell it, I'm sure, unless, I don't know, maybe if you have a lot of long Italian last name experience, you might be able to put it together, or you have a good memory, or you just have seen it a few times. Who the fuck cares? It doesn't matter. Hit me up. I'm on there, and happy to hear from everybody. Thank you guys so much for that, and thank you for every goddamn thing that you do for us, everybody. And until next week, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.